as we welcome one and all to the Barbados National Oil Company grounds here at the Woodburn facility in St. Philip, Barbados, the southeast portion of the island, and we are here for the final, the grand final of the second AMAS Masters Over 50s T20 cricket competition. This match today featuring the defending champions, the veterans, and their challengers this year in the final are the Limers. We can inform that the Limers have won the toss, have elected to bat, and we are now witnessing the second delivery of the innings bowled by Vibrant Green, former Barbados and West Indies B, fast bowling, medium pace, medium fast all rounder. And his second delivery is down the leg side. It is a wide, and that brings the total up to two, I believe. The captain Keith Seal facing up now to Green, right arm outside the off stump, driven away sweetly past the fielder at backward point. The ball is going to pull up before it reaches the boundary at the deep backward point position, and the batsmen are going to settle for just two. But Keith Seal getting some width from Vibrant Green. The ball also pitched well up and stroking it square. A diving effort by the man there at backward point, but the ball eventually yielding some 2 runs to the Limers side, and Seal once again faces up to Vibrant Green. Green bringing the batsman on the front foot, the ball coming off the inner half of the bat, running into the onside. The batsmen are quickly through for a single as the man from mid-wicket comes around to his right. Can't stop that run, and up the total goes up by 1 more. So we've got a slip, backward point cover, extra cover mid-off, deepish just at the edge of the circle. There is a mid-on, wideish mid-on. There's a man at deep mid-wicket, a fielder at backward square, wicket keeper LaFond standing back. As I introduce you to my fellow, well, at the moment, my fellow analyst, I'm bringing the new voice to the airwaves and to the Anything Cricket. Let's talk, family. Let's wait for this delivery. A swing off the outside edge, high over first slip, down to the third man boundary for 4. So that shot attempted to go to the opposite end of the ground. He was swinging towards long on. The ball peeling off the outside edge, high over the head of Pedro Agar at first slip, and down to the third man boundary for 4 more runs to the Limers side, who would have won the toss and elected to bat. But yes, take this opportunity to say good afternoon to my fellow commentator, Kirk Strawn. Good afternoon, Kirk.
Hey, good afternoon, Wayne. Good afternoon to all the listeners and the viewers around stream. As Agar is in, bowls a quick delivery, wrapping the batsman on the pads. We'll wait for the signal from the umpire if there's any forthcoming. The umpires for today's game, Wayne, are Mr. Carrington, and
Irvin Carrington
and James Jimmy Lewis.
Yeah, 2 very experienced campaigners. Carrington himself, much older vintage than Lewis, as Green is in, and this delivery pitching coming back into the right-handed batsman, but Seal coming across his wicket, guides it away square on the offside, and immediately calls his partner Mears through for a single as we come to the end of what is in fact the first over. So a quite productive first over, Kirk, for the Limers side, and they enjoying the best of the exchanges in that very first over.
Yes, Wayne.
So we're going to have the second over coming from the southern end of the ground. It looks like Shem Springer, who will right arm medium pacer, who will take up the attack. He's bowling to Keith Seal, and this one on the leg stump, pushed up to mid wicket. The batsman go quickly for a single, swooping in from that mid wicket position. Anthony Morris not picking it up cleanly. So far we've seen good communication between this pair and the running between the wicket, Kurt.
Yes, when I was about to tell you about this, the intent with the running between Seal and Mears looks quite good. They're very positive, and the calling communication has been brilliant so far.
So Hayden Archer, in fact, is the bowler from the southern end. My apologies. I think I called him Shem Springer, but Springer from another team, somewhat look alike to Archer. Some young looking under over 50s. We have here a couple of them, not all of them. I mean, it is obvious that, for instance, that Ken Mears is definitely over 50, but this young guy Archer can pass. He can fool you that he's less than 50, Kurt.
Yes, but Archer's been around the circuit for a long time. He played his trade at races. He's been at Brayton for a stint. And now I think he plays his trade now for the BNOC team in the second division. So he's been around for quite some time.
So, yes, so the years would mount up nonetheless. Slim, trim, right arm, medium pace, southern end, into bowl to Mears. And this one on the pad, Mears looks to work it into the onside. I think this one takes him on the pad, and Seal quite quickly advises Mears that a run was not on. The ball running out to Pedro Agard at the forward square position. There is no run. So 11 in the first over, 13 for no loss at the moment. Kurt will endeavor to give the teams at the completion of this next delivery, as both batsmen on 5. Archer. This one swatted away out to deep mid wicket. No one at home at the deep wicket position, and that is going to go across the rope for 4. So again, a leg side and picks up his second boundary. The total goes up to 17. He moves on to 9.
Yes, we had a short delivery basically by Archer. Just stood up in the wicket. The wicket is very good. I had a look at it before the start of today's proceedings, and it's a batsman's paradise. Just a touch of green on a good length. But there was a short delivery and given the full treatment.
Forces a change in the field setting, because now Morris has been pushed out to that deep forward square position. Pedro Agard from backward square has been brought into mid wicket, as this one is on the pad, turned away, running quickly and straight to the fielder at short fine leg Vibert Green. So no chance of a single. Return coming quickly in from Green, backed up in the offside by Ron Bates, as wicketkeeper Lafon not making up. So see, yes, Kurt, we can start to give those the 11s for the respective teams.
Yes, what I can tell you is that the Limers team, they'll be captained by Keith Seal. They include Victor Patrick, Gregory Gaskin, Dave Estwick. I'll get back to this at the end of this delivery win.
Down the leg side, I think umpire Lewis, yes, spreads his arms. That's so wide. One more to the total, 19 without loss.
Ken Mears, who's opening the batting. Jefferson Pushine Gibbons, Winston Gittins, Derwin Thompson, Andy Blackman, Michael Agard, and Canis Ogis.
This is who we know as Albert Ogis, Kurt.
Quickly run through the veterans team for you, led by Brian Johnson. Includes Ron Bates, Jeffrey Lafon, Ian Drakes, Anthony Morris, Pedro Agard, Winston Warren, Vincent Mice Hainsby, and you would have known Mice for a lot of years.
Well, yes,
Vibert Green, Hayden Archer, and Raymond Ogie. So we've got brothers on competing sides.
Down the leg side is Archer. Looking to pull is Mears, doesn't make contact. Again, the signal of wide comes from umpire Lewis. So that takes the total now up to 20 for no loss, and we are just in over number 2. 1 delivery left in the second over. Mears 9, Seal 5, as Archer is in 2 Mears, and this time he's swatting it away high out towards deep mid wicket, over the boundary at deep mid wicket, Anthony Morris at that deep forward square, coming around to his left, thought that he had a chance, but the ball much too well struck. Over the boundary it goes. So along with his two boundaries, now Mir sits the first 6 of the final to bring the second over to an end. Even more productive second over. Once again, very good going by the Limers.
Yes, we're in a very enterprising start, scoring out about 13 runs over after 2. And what was interesting there for a while, Morris thought he was in with a chance to complete that catch on the deep mid-wicket boundary. But Mears going all the way the first maximum win of the innings.
And hitting into the wind because there's a quite steady breeze coming across from the eastern side of the ground, blowing from left to right. And Mears, even although hitting that ball into the breeze, still managing to clear the boundary at deep mid-wicket. So it's going to be Green to continue. And his first delivery down the leg side. Good take by wicketkeeper Lafont, having to stretch away to his left, but a wide, losing his control on that occasion. Vibert Green. So to bring up another wide, I think wide's now up to 6, extras up to 7.
Very wayward start here by the veterans opening bowlers.
Very much so. Green, experienced campaigner, into bowl 2. Seal comes onto the front foot, looks for a drive, an appeal for leg before wicket, but I believe that one coming off the inside edge, Kirk, the delivery, a full toss, but it did duck into the batsman as he went into the on drive, but fortunately for him, he did get some bat.
Yes, clearly an inside edge there. Umpire Carrington very assertive in giving that not out. So a lot of bat involved there, Wayne.
Here comes Green again, and this time he's coming onto the front foot. Seal says wait as the ball comes off the inner edge. I think it brushed the pad also, running away to short fine leg. A rather youthful looking Ron Bates skips around to his right, brings the ball under control. So a dot ball from Vibert Green as we go, as the total remains at 27 for no loss in the third over of the innings. Green, short, Seal looks for a hook. The ball comes off the back of the bat and runs out towards third man. Let's see if it will reach the rope. In fact, it doesn't. It's pulled back inside the rope, and the batsman instead will pick up a couple. But an inadvertent hook shot to third man, Kirk.
And that delivery by Green definitely had to surprise Seal. But I'm a bit worried now for Mears at the non-strikers end, who's not wearing a headpiece, Wayne Holder. And we can see Green getting some lift off this wicket as well.
Well, you know, I asked a question a few days back. I'll get back to that, though, as Green comes in to bowl to Seal, and this time he's covering up, getting across his wicket. The delivery coming back in from outside the off, so right, but Green predominantly getting the ball to shape into the right-handed batsman, but that ball, well played by Seal out of the middle of the bat. Did entertain the thought of a single, but it was never on. And Mears never even leaving his ground, not even leaving his prop on his bat as he leans on his bat at the non-striker's end now. Now he takes a couple of steps in, and this delivery is again darting in towards the leg stump of the batsman. Seal on the front foot, groping somewhat at that one. The ball coming off the inside edge onto the pad again. So Green seeming to find his range.
Yes, Wayne, and he's utilizing the strong breeze that you would have spoken about earlier, coming from left to right across the ground. See the ball clearly darting back at both right-handed batsmen.
Here comes Green, number 23 on his back. Seal comes on the front foot, plays tentatively. The ball coming off the inner half of the bat one more time, running straight to the fielder at mid-wicket. Again, there is no run, so a much better return in the second innings from Vibert Green, as I mentioned, finding his range somewhat in this second over. And after 3 overs, it is 29 without loss. So it looks as if we will have the first bowling change of the innings. Kirk, Ian Drake's left arm, stiffish medium pace, is going to take up the attack from the southern end. Hayden Archer who started from that end. His over very expensive, 15 runs in that first over, and immediately Captain Brian Johnson making the first change as we await the field to get into place.
Another notable thing, Wayne, the wicketkeeper Lafon immediately up to the stumps.
Well, that stiff medium pace that I talked about is something of the past for Ian Drakes because he seems to be bowling slow left arm. No, so the wicketkeeper obviously up to the stumps. He's got a slip in place, a short third man, a backward point, square cover, extra cover mid off, long on, a man in at mid wicket, straightish, and a deep mid wicket on the boundary who is now going to be brought inside the circle, it appears. Yes, so he's going to have some cover behind the bat on the leg side. With the previous delivery, no one behind square on the onside. So we now have a man at backward square bordering on the 45, and that deep mid wicket has been brought into the orthodox mid wicket position.
I like this from Captain Johnson, inviting the batsman to hit across the delivery if he wants to score.
Stroke down too long on by Seal on this occasion though, and the batsman easily through for a single. So we now see the adjustment made to the field with the more hard-hitting Mears coming on strike. The mid-wicket has now been pushed back into position, the deep mid-wicket. So again, we have no one behind square on the onside. Left arm around the wicket is Drakes, and this one is driven powerfully down the ground, and the man coming around from long on will only watch it roll over the rope at long on, straight hit to as straight as can be from Mears, and he continues to be dominant. He moves up to 20, the total 35 without loss.
What I like about that shot Wade, is that he went straight. He didn't attempt to go across the delivery, hit the ball straight back down the ground, presented the full face of the bat, and got another boundary.
So this partnership, some concern for Captain Brian Johnson, who's fielding at mid-off, having a word with his bowler as who comes in now. Bowls a full toss, started away, up to long on. He got away with that one. On that occasion, the ball through the fielder, who seems to have lost his footing somewhat as he was about to field. And in fact, the batsman coming back for a second run on the misfield. Fortunately, the ball not rolling into the boundary, but a full toss. I think he got off there somewhat.
Very, very lucky there that Mears didn't take full toll of that full delivery. But yet again, Wayne, what I like about this innings from Mears so far, he's usually known to go leg side. But for the couple of deliveries he's faced from the left arm spinner, he's been intent on hitting the ball straight down the ground, Wayne.
Well, there's another adjustment in the field. The slip has been taken away, and he's now got a man fielding at a short mid-on position, straight mid-on position. Somewhat unorthodox, it appears, but looking to plug that gap with your mention of Mears looking to go straight. I think the opposition already observing that also. As this time he's driving, he's going to pierce that gap between those two close infielders. On the onside, they're going to come back for the second round. Yes, no. Eventually they decide that they won't go, and a bit of hesitation in the running, but the ball played between the orthodox mid-wicket and that short mid-on I spoke to you about, and bringing the man from long on into play. He had to move around to his right, and the batsman thought that there might have been a second run on, but nonetheless, we've come to the end of the fourth over. It is 38 without loss. Once again, Vibert Green to bowl his third over, the fifth over of the innings. Bowls a full toss, one that dips on the batsman Mears. You can see him setting up for the big swing down the ground, the ball dipping as it got closer to him, and eventually having to come down and get it off the bottom of the bat.
Well, that's far away in a very mature innings being played by Mears. At one stage of that delivery, he thought he was going to open up for the big heave-4, but when he saw the late swing, he adjusted well, managed to get the delivery past the ball on his follow-through to the right to collect an easy single down to long on.
39 without loss. And Seal, the captain, Keith Seal, he's on 8. He comes on strike now, facing up to Vibert Green. And this one is taking him on the pad, but ball clearly going down the leg side, starting around leg stump and going even further down as Seal falling over as he attempt to play a whip to the onside. doesn't make contact. So once again, we look at the field. We look for the boundary riders, one at deep backward square and one at long on. Remember, two fielders allowed outside the 30-yard circle for the power play, the first 6 overs of the innings. This one swung away into a vacant area out to deep mid-wicket. Not timed very well by Seal, and gives Brian Johnson, the captain on his opposite number, Seal's opposite number, enough time to come around to his left and pick up. And the batsman pick up 2 more, 41 without loss. Now the total. Seal into double figures. He is now on 10. Mears is on 24. And we await the big start of this next delivery. Right arm running away from us here at the Northern Rock Pavilion end. This delivery pitching down and down the leg side. Again, 1 more wide to the total. So Green guilty of starting that delivery a little too straight, Kurt.
Yes, Green predominantly getting the ball to swing back into the right-handed batsman, but starting a bit too straight and going straight down the leg side.
Extra brings it to 42 without loss as he's in again. And Seal is backing across his stump, working it away square behind point there off the face of the bat. Runs away for another single. He goes up to 11 Seal, the total 43 without loss. And over number 5, Limers winning the toss, electing to bat, and a very steady and very strong opening partnership so far. Good delivery, but dug out by Mears, but still able to get the single because the man at mid-off is right back on the circle. That's Ian Drakes, and this one driven up towards him, not with a lot of power, and allowing the batsman through for another single. So Mears moves up to 25, the total 44 without loss. Here comes Green driving aerially through the gully position, chase for the man at backward point. The batsmen are going to come back for a second run as he pulls it back inside the boundary at third man. But on that occasion, a moral victory for Vibert Green. Nonetheless, it cost him and his team 2 runs, and the Limers off to this very, very solid start are 46 without loss. After this, we'll hear from Kirk Swan, who will pick the ball by ball up while I step away and just be his support.
So it will be Ian Drakes to continue from the southern end of the ground. Bowls a delivery. The batsman Mears is having a heave-for, comes off the outside portion of the bat. Fielder at backward point. It looks like Orgis comes in and does the fielding. No run resulting. The score at the start of over number 6. 46 without loss. I can tell you that Orgis, backward point, at short third man is Vibert Green. Ron Bates in a short extra cover. Another short delivery. The batsman attempted to turn it into the onside. Doesn't make contact. Ball taken by the keeper. No run resulting. Score will remain on 46 without loss. That's likely Dave Estwick. As Drakes on his way once more. Into ball high into the air. The fielder coming in from long on. It looks doesn't come in and take the catch. So 1 more to Mears. So Mears goes up by 1 to 26. And they score up to 47 without loss. We're in the course of over number 6. It's being bowled by Ian Drakes. Left arm slow around the wicket. He's making some adjustments in the field. The fielder from mid-wicket is being asked to come in. Agard is being asked to go a bit straighter in at short mid-on. And Morris asked to come a few steps to his left at the backward square position as Drake's on his way into bowl to Seal, who's driving back to the bowler, who doesn't feel cleanly, but well backed up by Agard, moving very swiftly around his right wing holder.
Well, swiftly is relative, Kirk, but yes, he did get there in time to stop the single.
Ian Drakes aborts his run, something not quite right, as he was about to enter his delivery stride. So this has been a very quiet over so far, just conceding one run in the course of the fourth delivery of the sixth over. He's on his way. Pass the umpire now, into ball to Seal. Seal is forward, doesn't score. Back to the bowler.
So Kirk, I'm very impressed with the way that this opening pair they counter for each other. You know, Mears, the more aggressive of the two. It's been causing some problems for the field setting and for the general plans of the veteran side.
Drakes. Bowls a wide delivery down the leg side, called wide, rightly so by umpire Jimmy Lewis. He's standing at the sovereign end of the ground. And just as we was about to give some credit to Drakes for bowling the tight over, he commits the cardinal sin of throwing the ball straight down the leg side. On his way once more, pass umpire Lewis now, into ball to Seal, wrap. Play this delivery down to short, fine leg where it's fielded by Morris, it looks like. So at the end of over number 6, I can tell you, the Limers 11 winning the toss and electing to bat 48 without loss.
That's the end of the power play. And as I said, the opening pair, Seal and Mears, doing a fantastic job for the Limers. I think the veterans, as the name suggests, a very experienced side, but they're not. This has been a team. They won the competition when it was first held in, I think it was 2020. We didn't have a competition last year. They would have played unbeaten up to the very last match of the preliminary round when they had already secured a place in the final. So they are not accustomed to being on the back foot, to being on the
yes, but it's been a very good start here by the Limer side, but we see now the captain again going back to the season campaign of Herbert Green, so he's going to complete his full allotment of overs immediately up front. Any your thoughts on this?
Well, yes, Green, I mean, sometimes, you know, at these ages, we must remember that we're talking about men 50 years and older, and sometimes it may not be the easiest thing to come back, especially Green has been bowling very well, still working up a bit of pace relatively at this level.
So he's on his way.
He's warm.
Into ball to Mears, and Mears is getting a short delivery, swung into the onside, gone for one. Will they contemplate the second? No, they won't, as the field is on to delivery now. It looks like Bates on the hands is returned to wicketkeeper Lafon. So one more to the score, takes the score up to 49, Wayne Holder. You were speaking about Green coming back, but maybe it's the captain realizing the need for to break this opening partnership.
Yes, so basically one of his better bowlers, his trump cards, more or less, of Herbert Green. Deceiving Mears on that occasion with a slower delivery. Mears looking for that big pull. Fortunately, the ball landing into a no man's land between the orthodox mid-wicket and the deep mid-wicket coming in off the boundary.
Green on his way. Into ball to Seal. Seal is getting this one off the inside portion of the back. Backward square. They've gone for one. Should complete two quite easily. As the fielder coming off the backward square boundaries onto it. No sense is lob the return to wicketkeeper Lafon, who does the tidying up. So two more to the score, two more to Captain Seal. And that's the 50 being brought up as well for the Limer side. They're 51 without loss. We're in the course of over number 7. I can tell you, there are 46 deliveries, 24 minutes, 3 fours and 1 6. Mears, he's got 27. Away from his Seal on 15. So good start, Wayne Holder.
Very good.
Played into the onside, and yet again we're in the communication quite clear between these two as they pick up yet another easy single. Takes the score up to 52 without loss.
And Green persistent with this rather straight line of his. He's got 3 men in a row on the outside, the backward point cover and extra cover, all saving one on the outside. But so far, not one delivery of this over played in the direction of that area.
He's on his way once more. Pass the umpire now into ball to Mears, who's having a heave-for outside the yard stump. Luckily for him, didn't make contact as the ball goes to be taken by wicketkeeper Lafon, and no run resulting.
So that on this occasion, Green almost picking up the cue from my previous comment, going wider, a little wider of the yard stump on that occasion, and Mears swinging at ear.
Green, pass umpire Carrington now into ball to Mears. Delivery down the leg side. We'll wait for the signal from the umpire. Wide called by umpire Carrington. So extras continue to play a major part of this inning so far, Wayne Holder.
Well, they go up to 10 in the total of 53, but Mears again showing some frustration, not being able to, Green not being able to get that delivery on the target, on the straight.
As Vibert Green, the experienced campaign, on his way into bowler Ken Mears, who's playing the delivery down to the field at the long off position. It looks like Drake's comes into the attendance now. So one more to Mears. He's batting solidly, Wayne Holder.
Intelligent cricket on the part of this pair. What they're intending to do now is to see this spell from Vibert Green over, out, and through, whereby he, being one of the trump cards, being one of the main bowlers, not giving him any wickets. And I think that may very well be a very deliberate ploy on the part of this pair.
Green, pass umpire Carrington into ball to Seal, forward and very solidly in defense. And this is one of the things about Keith Seal. You would have spoken about how they complement each other. Keith Seal with his stickability and Mears the more aggressive of the two. As we come to the close of over number 7, the Lermers 11 winning the toss and electing to bat are 54 without loss. So immediately another change being rung by Captain Brian Johnson as Morris comes into the attack. He starts with a wayward delivery down the leg side, Wayne Holder, and swung into the backward square boundary by Mears. So Mears continues on his aggressive merry-go-way, Wayne Holder.
Well, Ken Mears continued to punish anything wayward from the veterans bowlers, and Anthony Morris, right arm off spin from that southern end. The third bowler used so far from that end, and getting that one outside the legs. Just an easy for Mears to just help the ball around. There was no fielder at that deep backward square area. There's now a man put in place out there.
As Morris, who's known to be very economical on his way into ball to Mears. Mears forward in defense, doesn't score as LaFawn quickly from behind the stumps does the tidying up. The ball is back with Morris.
So Anthony Morris, one of a number of the
into ball to Mears outside the All-Star having a heave full. There's a bit of an appeal coming from the wicketkeeper LaFawn as he dislodged the bails, but umpire Carrington in a very good position to render that decision not out.
The crowd continues to flow into the Barbados National Oil Company facility here at Woodburn.
Morris on his way, feel that long on and long off. Into ball to the batsman Mears, who's having a swing at a shortish delivery. And I don't think that was quite that short for that shot.
And for the first time, we see Mears losing his shape going into a shot. Generally, he has been watching the ball quite closely. And
Morris again into Mears, this time hurriedly defensive stroke. Back to the bowler. So Morris, after the poor delivery to start the over, has come back and come back very well.
Yes, he's done his corrections. As we talk.
So at the end of over number, another short delivery down the leg side, the end of over number 8. I can tell you, the Lermers 11 winning the toss, 58 without loss. Mears, he's got 32, and with him is the Captain Seal, he's on 16.
So
as the first change from the northern end will be made, it looks like Captain Brian Johnson will come into the attack, replacing Vibert Green, who would have completed his full allotment of overs. So Captain Johnson into the attack, bowling a bit of a leg spin on his way. Past the umpire, Carrington into bowl to the batsman who's getting one off the outside portion to the fielder in a backward point. 1 run resulting, 1 more to seal. He goes up to 17 and the score up to 59. We in hold with the introduction of Brian Johnson.
Well, yes, the second off spinner we've seen coming into the attack. As I look here at some statistics provided by one of our statisticians, Kamisha and Sanchia, actually, those responsible for the scoring.
Johnson, flighted delivery, swung into the onside, gone for 1. Fielder goes down in the approved long barrier position. It looks like O'Geese does the fielding down there. The return on its way, restricting the batsman to 1. But when over there, you saw a poor bit of run. The fielder all the way down on the mid-wicket boundary, and the batsman just ambling 1.
Well, I don't think you're going to see a lot of tools if Mears remains at the wicket for much longer.
A full delivery and swung over the mid-wicket boundary by Seal. So some aggressive intent being shown by Seal. He picks up his first maximum as he goes up to 23 win holder and the score up to 66 without loss.
And going with the wind on that occasion, we already talked about this breeze coming across the ground. So the hit towards the western side of the ground, deep mid-wicket for the right-handed batsman batting at the southern end, will always have some assistance from this breeze and really helping that ball over the rope at deep mid-wicket.
A very enterprising start here by the two openers. Mears, he's on 33. Seal, who's on strike, he's got 23. Facing up to Brian Johnson, the captain of the veterans team. Bowls a delivery outside the yard stump. Well flighted, well bowled, well taken as well by wicketkeeper Lafon, who looks very competent behind the stumps.
And this time Johnson pushing it a bit wider into that offside.
Johnson short outside the yard stump, slap into the point region. The batsmen have gone for 1. They should run fairly close to the boundary. Pull back now by the fielder, running all the way back from backward point. The batsmen have completed 2 runs. So 2 more to seal and 2 more to the score takes it up to 68 without loss. We're in over number 9 win holder.
I think Johnson might have picked up a cue here or learned a thing or two from that full pitch delivery that went for 6. Since then, he's been concentrating just outside the off stump, forcing the batsman to play the ball into that offside where we're playing into that wind. We're going to talk about that constantly through the rest of the evening, I believe.
Well flighted delivery, and there you saw Johnson in his follow-through, very eager to prevent the batsman from completing that single. So at the end of over number 9, the Limers 11 off to a very good start, winning the toss and electing to bat. Ken Mears, he's got 33. With him is the captain, Keith Seal. He's on 25. They are 68 without loss.
Well, at 9 overs,
So at the start of over number 10, Morris will continue from the sovereign end. He'll be bowling to the batsman Mears, who's playing this one into the offside, where Pedro Agard comes in quickly to do the fielding.
So, Kirk, I talk about the spectators flowing into the ground as the afternoon wears on, and a number of celebrities among them. We'll get to identify a few of them sometime soon.
So Morris bowls another tight delivery win, and a bit of pressure now being put on Mears because he's faced some 8 deliveries from Morris and has just got 1 boundary. Another tight delivery by Morris, flighted outside the off stump, turning back into the right-handed batsman. All Mears was able to do was come forward on the front foot and yet again doesn't score.
Excellent control by Anthony Morris.
On his way once more, past the umpire Lewis, bowls a short delivery, full delivery down the leg side, swept backward of square. Ian Drakes comes around to his left, which is his strong side, does the field in, the return on its way, restricting the batsman to 1. So good work by Drakes coming around on the backward square boundary.
And some risk involved in that shot. If the pressure, as the pressure continues to build, I think that ball might have been swept off the stumps, not necessarily outside of the leg stump. So Mir is now prepared to take some risk and able to rotate the strike and get off strike.
69 without loss. We're in the course of over number 10. It's being bowled by Morris. Short outside the off stump. Off the outside portion of the bat down to the fielder. Looks like Green in that short third man. Yet again, the batsmen do not score.
So Morris in a very fine comeback. Well, after that very first delivery.
Well, Morris being is usually known for his economy. He's been one of the tighter bowlers going around the circuit for many a year.
But yes, we know of Anthony Morris. Not looking to turn the ball a whole lot, but excellent control, looking to get that ball down between wicket and wicket on a good length on most occasions.
So giving up an easy single at the end of over number 10, where delivery short, delivery punch into the offside. Airguard came around to his right. The batsman completed one. So at the end of 10 overs rain, our roles will be reversed now. The Limers 11 winning the toss and electing to bat and doing so very well. They are 70 without loss.
So 10 overs gone. He's reached the halfway stage of the first innings of the grand final of the 2022 version of the Amas Masters over 50s T20 cricket competition. And the Limers winning the toss, electing to bat against the defending champions. Veterans have occupied those 10 overs without losing a wicket. Excellent opening stand from Ken Mears and Keith Seal, which now has moved up to 71 without loss. And Seal just picking up a single to go to 27. Mears on 34. And I think this is the first time that the veterans would have come under this kind of pressure. But we'll see how Captain Johnson responds. He has
interesting field setting where there's no one on the onside saving a single.
As this one pitched up just outside the off stump, the batsman having to come down on it. Mears blocks it out into the outside. Johnson quickly around to his left to feel there is no run. So it is clear what the intentions of Brian Johnson are, with, as Kirk described, no fielder saving one on the onside. Down the ground it goes, in the air, chance for a catch. Vibert Green comes in, takes an easy catch. And Mears eventually yielding to the pressure applied by the off-spinning pair of Anthony Morris and Brian Johnson. And finally, the veterans are able to make a breakthrough. Ken Mears going to a catch by Vibert Green coming off the boundary at long on, off the bowling of Johnson for 34. He faced 34 balls, struck 4 fours and 1 6. And after 10 overs and 3 balls, the line was 71 for 1, Kurt.
Yes, Wayne. I think Mears here succumbed to the pressure because clearly they decided they were going to take the deliveries from being so straight, went a little bit wider, no fielders on the onside saving a single, giving him the option of trying to clear the leg side boundary being holder, and he succumbed to the pressure one field that long on, and he found them expertly.
Well, yes, and did a perfect job. Vibert Green hardly had to move, and it was a very simple catch right into the basket, and Mears eventually, after a very good hand, though, one would have to say, I mean, he must be commended for that opening partnership with himself and Keith Seal. So the Limers still very much in a very steady position, very strong position after 10 overs and 3 balls. But
and the new batsman Wayne is Gregory Gaskin, Wayne Holder. He's been prolific all his cricketing life.
Well, yes, this is one of the many players that we know. You know, we have a number of players in Barbados who might not be household names outside of the island, but we know at whatever level a man like Gregory Gaskin would have played. He's always been prolific. He's always scored runs. And even now that he's reached this master stage, still continue to churn the runs out. And a very part of this Limers side, who have done very well in the competition.
In fact, Wayne, as I look at your stats, Gregory Gaskin is the third highest run scorer in this competition, and he has an opportunity here, Wayne, to pass the leading run score.
But yes, because Owen Birch, who up to today would have been the leading scorer with 233 runs, will not be featuring in this final run. Bates at 206 in second position is very much in the veteran side, so he will also have a chance to bat later in the afternoon. Turned away up to deep mid-wicket. The batsmen are going to come back for a second run as that man at deep mid-wicket, it looks like Warren coming in, unable to save the second run. So Seal up by 2 more to 29, 73 for 1. So yes, Kurt, very observant of you to look into my figures. Clipped away in the air, but safely by Seal. They are going to come back for a second run once again, and they make it quite comfortably, all because Vibert Green coming in and around at long on is unable to pick it up cleanly. So even if there would have been some pressure applied for that second run, it was eased with that misfield. So 2 more to Keith Seal. Seal so far has picked up his runs in 1s and 2s, Kirk.
Yeah, but that's Keith Seal. That's vintage Keith Seal, Wayne Holler. Vintage Keith Seal. He'll be there for the duration of these 20 overs. He'll be looking to lead his side.
This delivery on the leg stump, looking to turn it away. Seal doesn't make contact. Struck on the pad down the leg side. So Johnson brings his second over to an end, and a successful over. And so far, the only bowler with a wicket, Brian Johnson. 2 overs, no maiden 15 runs, and 1 wicket, 11 overs completed, 75 for 1, the Limers. So here is Anthony Morris. Was another typical Anthony Morris delivery. Flighted up on that middle and off stump. The batsman not able to get under it nor get to the pitch to drive it. Has to push it back along the pitch. Gaskin goes for a big swing. The ball in the air. Good tumbling catch taken by Raymond O'Geese. So Gaskin looking to go against the run of play because Morris has been tight from that southern end, trying to hit him off his line. Delivery out just about on the all stump, just outside the all stump, looking for that big heave down the ground, the ball peeling off the outer edge. And O'Geese coming in from backward point, taking a very good catch.
As I look at his scorecard, Wayne Holler, Morris, his first delivery was swung backward of square for 4. And he's in the course of his 3rd over now, Wayne Holler. He's just conceded some 6 runs. So Morris definitely building that pressure on the batsman. And there Gaskin again, subscumming, having a heave forward, ball coming off the outside portion of the bat, and O'Geese coming in from backward point, taking a lovely catch, Wayne Holder, diving forward as well, which is usually a very difficult thing to do.
Yes, and the ball would have been spinning also because it did come off the outer edge, and so that would have been a contention to deal with. But he dealt with it quite well, keeping his eyes on it too, and getting in good position, good safe hands by Agard. And now we see Gaskin going for no score, in fact, caught by O'Geese off Morris, so he didn't add to those 189 runs he came into today's match with. The other leading run scorers, Owen Birch 233 and Ron Bates 206, while in the wickets section, Anthony Morris came into this match with 6 wickets behind Victor Patrick and Ian Drake's 8 apiece, and Brian Johnson, who's also featuring from the northern end, he has picked up 5 wickets also. So some of the leading batters and bowlers in the competition featuring quite expectedly in the final.
And an easy single for Michael Agard as he opens his account.
Well, yes, Agard, Michael Agard. He has also been in quite good form. That delivery, going off the back foot, cutting it away. Fine effort by Raymond O'Geese again at that backward point position. Again, Raymond O'Geese is one of these younger over 50s. You know, he moves not like a regular over 50 player.
And he usually keeps himself well. You see him running the highway as well some days, some evenings. Early mornings as well. So you very fit over 50.
Yeah, has been playing this game for a long time too. This one floated up by Morris. And you notice Morris quite slow through the air, not giving the batsman a lot of pace to work with.
And one of the things Morris does well is he takes away the batsman's arms. He doesn't give them a lot of room either.
Here is Seal looking to pull this delivery to the outside again because that delivery is much too close to him for the shot. He doesn't actually make contact, and luckily for him the ball misses the off stump as it bounces over the off stump and taken by the keeper. So Anthony Morris really bringing the veterans right back into this game after what you described, Kirk, as an enterprising start by the opening pair for the Limers. And now we've come to over number 12 with a total 76 for 2. Agard on 1 and Kisil, who has been there from the start, on 31.
Well, yes, Wayne, Morris continues to be very miserly now. He started with a wayward delivery down the leg side, cost him 4 runs, and at the end of his 3 overs, just conceded some 7 runs.
So a new batsman, relatively new batsman, Michael Agard, comes to the middle. Quite interestingly set field, 5 on the off, including a deep cover and a long off. Those are the ones saving the boundary. There's a short third man, a point, and an extra cover, all saving 1 inside the circle. Just one fielder at short mid-wicket, saving 1 on the onside. The others are at deep mid-wicket, deep forward square, and long on, as this delivery to Agard is bringing him forward. And a flatter delivery from Johnson, and Agard content to push it back along the pitch to the bowler. And there is no run. Right arm over the wicket is Brian Johnson. And this delivery outside the off stump, cut away behind point, chase for O'Geese, it looks like from backward point. No, that's Haynes from backward point, chasing away back to the backward point area. And the batsman picking up a couple on that occasion.
Short wide delivery by Johnson, given the treatment by Agard. Cut away.
Very strongly set offside field, piercing that area behind point. Agard goes up to 3, 78 for 2. Flighted delivery, full toss. In fact, hit away out to mid-wicket. Not really timing it as well as he would have wanted to. And also picking out the man at deep mid-wicket.
I think Johnson got away for a very bad delivery there, Wayne Holder, and definitely not bowling to script. You can see the plans being put forward here by the veteran side. Morris bowling quite straight, and Johnson going the other way, inviting the batsman to hit to the offside.
Well, yes. Here he is again. Let's see if he'll correct his error. And this occasion, down the wicket comes a Seal and tugs it away into the onside. A diving effort by Pedro Agard. If I say a dive, but he fell away to his right as he tried to haul that ball in. Ball eluding him and going down to O'Geese at deep mid-wicket. So Seal benefiting by a single up to 32. 80 for 2 as Morris now to Agard, who's lifting this one, getting a lot of it also. That one floated up on the off stump, and Morris getting the left pad down. Agard getting the left pad down, getting under it, lifting it over the head of the fielder at long on Vibert Green. 6 runs all the way, maximum to Michael Agard.
Brian Johnson going against his script, Wayne Holder, and coming down a flighted delivery on the stumps, and Agard just leaning into this delivery and lofting it over the fielder at long on, who had no chance at all, Wayne Holder.
86 for 2 as Johnson must be smarting from that blow. Here he is, forcing the batsman onto the back foot, looking to pierce that offside field once again, but the ball much too straight for the shot. Back along the pitch it goes, and there is no run. 86 for 2
and
after
the
12,
adjustment
after
made
13.
immediately where Johnson again went wide of the stumps again, and yet again the batsman this time didn't score.
So as we said, so lots of cat and mouse, a good lot of strategy, a lot of tactic involved in these games. I mean, these guys are, as we keep saying, very experienced players, and they know this game inside out. You know, having played it for as long as most of them have, and we can see that knowledge coming to the fore as they try to counter each other. So Morris will continue with what will be his final over, his fourth and final over, the 14th of the innings, 86 for 2, and no discernible change in the field. He's bowling to Keith Seal, and Seal is nudging this one into the offside, thinking of going for a single. They're going to come for the single. No, on the misfield by Agard in there at that short cover position. The ball pushed into the offside. The batsman had conceded that there was not a run in it, but Agard overrunning the ball, and the batsman Agard quick to see and call his partner through, and despite Auguste being very quickly around to his right, the single was on. Auguste missing the stumps at the non-strikers end anyhow, as Agard brought on to the front foot and pushing this ball up to again to Agard, but this time a much more quietly, and Agard just able to walk in and pick up. Here he is looking for an expansive shot down the ground is Agard. The ball comes off the bottom inner part of the bat, and Drakes from deep backwards square has to come all the way in halfway from the boundary, and an easy couple of runs taken by Agard and the Seal. So two more to Agard, he's 12, and the total 89 for 2. As this delivery outside the leg stump, looking for the sweep is Agard, gets it down to the short fine leg position, and immediately breaks into a stroll down to the other end, as Drakes again comes in from that deep backward square. This time he's been brought in off the boundary, about 2/3 of the way down to the boundary now. Seal onto the front foot, pushes it into the onside. Another tight delivery from Morris, fielded by Ron Bates there at mid-wicket. No run, the result. Seal is coming into his wicket, turning this one away into the onside, into that vacant area behind square to the right of umpire Carrington. And Drakes, who has had quite a bit of work in this over, comes in once more to field. The over completed with a single. The Limers 91 for 2 after 14. And Anthony Morris completes his allotment of 4 overs. No maiden, 12 runs, 1 wicket. Impressive bowling by Anthony Morris.
Yeah, Morris very economical coming into the attack with Anhola and doing just what was asked of him, because remember, the Limers, they were off to a very enterprising start, and Morris came into the attack and immediately created some pressure and got his team, the veterans, back into this encounter with Anhola.
Well, both himself and the captain, Brian Johnson. Johnson, 3 overs for 25 runs. He's had a couple of sixes struck off his bowling, two sixes in fact he would have conceded, but outside of that he himself has been doing a quite steady job, and now he comes to finish off his spell with his 4th over. 91 for 2 it is. He's bowling to Keith Seal, who has been there from the beginning and is on 34, looks for a big pull. Pedro Agard takes an easy catch as a miscue from Keith Seal. His eyes lit up when he saw that short delivery from Brian Johnson, looked to pull it away into the onside, got it off the top edge, and the result, a simple catch to Pedro Graves in at short mid-wicket. So now the Keith Seal comes back after his long and steady knock. He made 34. I look for the statistics on his innings. 40 balls he would have faced. He only struck the 1-6, doing a job for his team. And at 91 for 3, the Limers still feel himself in a good position, but the veterans really roaring back.
The veterans win, fighting their way back into this encounter.
So the incoming batsman, Jefferson Gibbons, another stalwart of the local domestic game. Man from the north is struck on the pad. As a matter of fact, he's bowled down behind his legs, in fact. A full delivery, and Gibson guilty of getting too far across. Gibbons getting too far across his wicket, looking to turn it into the onside. Missed it on the full. The ball struck the leg stump, and now Brian Johnson with his third wicket. Gibbons going first ball. It's 91 for 4.
And if memory serves me correctly, Wayne Holder, with this 3 wickets from Brian Johnson, I think he would have climbed as well to the top of the wicket-taking list.
Well, he has joined Victor Patrick and Ian Drakes on 8. Now we have 3 bowlers on 8 wickets in the quest for the prize for the most wickets. There are a number of prizes on offer, Kirk. I can mention to you that the winning team will walk away with $1,000 Barbados dollars, and the runner-up $500. But there are also cash prizes and trophies for the bowlers with the most wickets, batsmen with the most runs, wicket-keeper with the most dismissal, fielder with the most catches. Of course, there's the player of the match final and the most valuable player of the competition. So these are among a number of prizes as we pay tribute to our sponsors of the Amas over 50s T20 Masters competition, and that will be the Barbados National Oil Company, Collins Limited, Premier World Cargo, Farm Boys, and BJ Auto Care. In the meantime, the new batsman Dave Estwick has made his way out to the middle, and the first delivery he gets, he goes off the back foot, punches it up towards mid-on. Agard is quite sprightly after taking that catch, skips around to his left of field, and there is no run. So Estwick, very familiar with Brian Johnson. These guys would have played a lot of cricket together for the BET team over the years, as this delivery again struck into the onside. This time, Johnson is quickly around to his right to field and sends a return back up to the keeper as Estwick straying out of his ground after playing that shot, hoping that the ball would have gone past the bowler. So good work. The veterans now very much on their toes, having come back into this game with a few wickets outside the off stump. Dangerous looking shot by Estwick, looking to run it away down through the vacant slip area. The ball goes past the outside edge. The impressive Gregory LaFond takes it behind. I said Gregory LaFond. That is in fact Jeffrey LaFond. Here he is again, Johnson. And this time Estwick is prepared to just nudge it away into the onside, out to the area where umpire Lewis is standing at square leg. No one at home in that area, so it's an easy single on offer. And that brings us to the end of over number 15. 15 overs gone, 92 for 4 the title. Before I ask DJ Kirk to come in, I just want to remind our viewers that we will have a little chat with Mr. I'll call his name now from the cricket West Indies, Raj Singh, who is the president of the Cricket West Indies Masters Association, CWIMA, the name of that organization. And we're going to have a word with him during the break between the innings.
As it looks like Orgeese will come into the attack as we head into the what is usually referred to as the death overs. He starts with a wide. So once again, Wayne Holder, as Seam is introduced, the extras continue to mount up as the score goes up to 93 for 4 with the start of over number 16.
Well, yeah, bowlers really don't get a lot in this in limited overs cricket generally. I mean, that ball wasn't that way down the leg side, but the rules are the rules. I think they apply to everyone concerned.
This was a better delivery ball by Orgeese, bringing the batsman forward, trying to steer it down to the third man region. Only got it as far as wicket keeper LaFond moving away to his right. So no run resulting, and the score remains on 93 for 4. Remember, we're in the course of over number 16. It's being bowled by O'Geese. He played his trade in the BCL leagues for quite some time. On his way into bowler delivery outside the yard stump. Umpire Lewis walks away to signal wide.
He's the regular on the softball, tape ball circuit. Barbados Cricket League was also played for Passage United in the BCS second division competition for some time.
94 for 4 as O'Geese pass umpire Lewis now into ball to the batsman who's coming forward. Yet again, ball played into the offside. Brian Johnson, the captain of the veterans team, coming in from the point region, doing the fielding. The batsman not contemplating or even thinking about a run. The score remains on 94 for 4.
O'Geese working up some brisk pace, stiff pace here from that southern end.
Short delivery, swung down to the fine leg region, past Ian Drakes, who goes around to his left. The return is on its way. The batsmen have already completed 2 runs. So 2 runs there to Estwick. He goes up to 3, and the score up to 96 for 4. With him is Agard. He's got 13. And the Limers, after being impressively poised, weighing hold at 71 before loss after some 10 overs, they've gone somewhat into decline.
Well, somewhat. Compliments Anthony Morris and Brian Johnson.
There's the batsman, Estwick, having an almighty he-4. Ball coming off the inside portion of the bat, back along the track, and wicket bowler O'Geese in his follow-through does the fielding, and yet again, the batsmen have not scored.
So now we understand why the veterans have basically dominated this competition, because just when it looked as if the Limers were going to run away with this innings, the Limers showing their depth, the veterans showing their depth, and bringing on the extra reinforcements to counter and keep the Limers in check.
Another good delivery by O'Geese, bringing the batsman Estwick onto the front foot, playing back to the bowler, and yet again we hold the same team again. Batsmen do not score. He's on his way now. O'Geese past the umpire Lewis from the southern end of the ground into ball to Estwick, who's driving to Agard, who's in their extra cover. Batsmen have completed 1. So at the end of over number 16, a reasonably economical over as well, delivered by O'Geese, coming into the attack from the southern end of the ground, replacing Anthony Morris, who himself was extremely economical. At the end of over number 16, the Limers 11 winning the toss and electing to bat with Agard on 13 and Estwick on 4 are 97 for 4. So Ian Drakes, before this, now being switched now, we hold it to the northern end of the ground before this. 2 overs from the southern end, 2 overs for 11 runs. And he didn't pick up a wicket as well, so he's being switched around by his captain Johnson. And Johnson will be hoping that Drakes can keep the screws on this Limers 11 side.
Well, yes, as this is another phase of the match now. We've had those 2 bowlers removed from the attacks.
As Drakes, left arm around the wicket, on his way into ball to the batsman, off the inside portion of the bat, down to the fielder, coming off the mid-wicket boundary. They've gone for 1. A strong return by Captain Johnson, who's fielding on the mid-wicket boundary.
Put himself there, one of the better fielders, catchers, and also one of the stronger arms, Brian Johnson.
98 for 4 in the course of the 17th over. It's being delivered by Ian Drakes, left arm around the wicket, facing up to Michael Agard, Senior. Drakes pass umpire Carrington now into ball to Agard. Agard gets a short delivery, called through for a quick single as the ball is into the backward square region. Wait for the signal from the umpire if there's any forthcoming. So a bit of bat involved. So 1 more to the score, 99 for 4 over number 17. 70 without loss at the end of 10 win holder.
And now since then, we've had some 6 overs and just another 29 runs for the loss of 3 wickets. So it tells you who enjoyed the better of that middle portion of the innings.
Yet again, Drake's operating in a similar manner as Vibert Green, where he's getting the ball to dart back into the right-handed batsman, ably assisted by the strong breeze coming from left to right across the ground.
Well, and you also notice, I did mention at the start of his spell that Drakes would have been bowling left arm, a stiff left arm medium pace.
And he's reverted back to that.
He's reverted to the left arm medium pace because he bowled left arm orthodox spin from the other end.
So he's on his way once more. Pass umpire Carrington now jumps, delivers. And to this delivery, Estwick is beaten all ends up as Drakes goes right through him in holder. Straight through him in for quick delivery.
Well, yes, beaten for pace and also movement from Drakes, the left-arm bowler, bowling around the wicket and getting that ball to swing into the right-handed batsman, which one would think that Estwick or the right-handed batsman generally would prefer the ball coming in where you're actually able to go with the tide and go with the wind. But Estwick not able to make contact with any of these
number
deliveries.
17 is being delivered by Ian Drakes. He's come back very well. Start of the third over. Some 4 deliveries already gone, just conceding 2 runs. He's on his way. Past umpire Carrington now jumps, delivers, and to this delivery, batsman again being wrapped on the pass. This time, though, the ball goes down into the fine leg region where the fielder from short square leg comes around to his right, does the fielding, and the batsmen have completed 1 signal leg buys as well by umpire Carrington. So 1 more to the extras, and that's the 100 as well being brought up for the Limerick side. But they've taken all of 16.5 overs in which to do so.
112 deliveries, 4 fours, 3 sixes. This Limerick side have also put together the highest total by any team in the competition, 196. Getting nowhere near that today, but it does say something about the quality of their batting generally.
Delivery from Drakes full and driven into the onside where Captain Brian Johnson at the end of over number 17 does the fielding, restricting the batsman to 1. Agard, he goes up to 15. With him is Estrick, he's on 5. And the Lermers 11, winning the toss and electing to bat here in perfect batting conditions, being holder 101 for 4. As Orgis will start over number 18. Was a short delivery off the outside portion of the bat down to the third man region. A bit fortuitous there, we're holder down to third man, but where Vibert Green is in attendance, comes around to his left and does the fielding, restricting the batsman to 1 as the score goes up to 102 for 4.
Well, that is again part of the white ball game, the limited overs game. Runs inadvertently, that ball off the outside edge. Fortunately, Green was able to get around and save the boundary.
As Orgis with the wicketkeeper up to the stumps, on his way into bowler short delivery, which is punched down past the bowler, down to the fielder, coming off the long off region. It looks like Morris in attendance down there. 1 more to the score away and hold of these singles. Though important, I don't think the Limers team will be quite impressed now. I think they need to step on the accelerator.
As a matter of fact, you read my mind because I was about to say that the veterans would not mind
off
these
the outside
singles.
portion. About Green comes around. Will he get it wrong? He gets it wrong, but he doesn't get down as this one goes into the third man region and into the boundary for 4. So a welcome boundary off the outside portion of Michael Agard's bat takes it up to 107, and Agard up to 20, Wayne Holder, 107 for 4.
Well, they say if you're going to go hard, and Agard did go hard on that occasion. The ball traveling much quicker than the previous outside edge. And good work by Green to get his left foot to it, but not able to keep it in the play, and the ball trickling over the line.
As Orgis on his way once more into bowl, a short delivery which is swung into the onside. They've gone for 1. Not a lot of urgency being shown with the running. They've ambled 1 Wayne Holder in the course of over number 18. I don't think that was good running at all.
But I'm not sure that you're going to see any helter-skelter running for the rest of this innings, particularly if Agard is there. You notice that he seems to be favoring somewhat a knee, his right knee, and and not
Down the
great.
track, giving the ball the charge, missing a delivery outside the off stump, taken by wicketkeeper Lafon, who had a shy at the stumps, dislodged the bills, but all is well that ends well. The batsman was firmly back on his ground, but yet again, Wayne Holder, no run resulting, and wicketkeeper Lafon up to the stumps.
Well, yes, and Estwick finding difficulty in getting the ball away. He's faced some 16 balls for the 6 runs he has scored.
Another delivery into the paws of Estwick, and yet again, Estwick doesn't score. Over number 18 has come to a close, Wayne Holder. 108 for 4. Remember, at the end of 10 overs, the Limers, they were on a canter. They were 70 without loss after 10. And since then, we've had 8 more completed overs, Wayne Holder, and we've scored just 38 runs.
Well, that is, again, compliments to the bowling of the veterans. It is quite, we were wondering who were going to bowl the final overs of this inning. So it appears as if Auguste and Drakes will close the innings out. Drakes having bowled three overs for 14 runs, I think, and with Auguste having bowled 2 for 12, one can safely say that this pair will see the innings through for the veterans.
Well, Ian Drakes being switched around, having been switched around, seems to have found his mojo. Lengthen his run and operating with a bit of seam and pace. On his way into ball to Michael Agar, who will need to step on the accelerator. Short delivery, swung into the mid-wicket region of Brian Johnson. One of the better fielder comes around to his right Wayne Holder. Good fielding by Brian Johnson, restricting the batsman Wayne Holder to 1.
Well, 1 walked by Agar, but very, very good work by Brian Johnson out there in the deep. He did get a favorable bounce, but he had to move quickly to be able to be in position to get a hand to that ball. Kept it inside, kept it in play, and the batsman not even benefiting from the fact that the ball did drift away from him.
Drakes, with his boundary riders, being a field that long on, a field that long off, field that deep mid-wicket, and a field that deep forward square. Short third man, and a field that down at fine leg as Drakes into ball to Estwick. Estwick is punching this delivery the offside. Should get some runs here. Goes for 1. Will they contemplate the second? Yes, they do, and they will complete it quite easily in the end, Wayne Holder. So 2 to Estwick. He goes up to 8. It's been a labored 8 of 18 deliveries, and they score up to 111. 1 for 4 in the course of over number 19.
And the innings definitely in need of some acceleration, need for a few boundaries now, with just 8 deliveries left.
On his way, Drakes past umpire Carrington. Delivery wrapping the batsman on the pads with a bit of in-swing again. The inward movement predominantly from the seamers operating from this end. Vibrant green firstly as umpire Carrington signals another leg by and Ian Drakes
continues to do good work coming back for the second spell, bowling his like I said, his stiff medium pace stuff, and the batsman finding difficulty in getting him away for anything more than ones or twos.
3.3 overs, none for 17. He's on his way once more. Past umpire Carrington, left arm around the wicket, into ball to Agard. Agard is driving sweetly into the offside, through the cover region. Runs from here, he's gone for 1. And he will walk the second run as he returns on his way. The fielder from long off had quite a bit of work to do to his left and allowed the batsman to complete 2. So 114 for 4. The boundary is still very elusive here, Wayne Holder.
Well, yes, and that ball struck to one of the longer parts of the ground, that deep extra cover on the eastern side. And although Agard had to go some 30 meters around to his left, he was still able to get the ball before it crossed the rope.
1 for 4. Drakes driven down to long off. Fielder Archer with another race to his left goes around. The batsman will complete a comfortable brace. So 2 more to the batsman Agard. For a while there, we nearly had to be speaking on the correction because they said it would have been a comfortable 2.
But the ball relayed from the bowler up to the keeper, and Agard lolling a bit outside of his ground, having to step it up the last couple of paces.
So 116 for 4. We are in the final delivery as long as it's a legal one of over number 19. It's being delivered by Ian Drakes. Before this, 3.5 overs for 21 runs. On his way into ball to the batsman. There's a loud appeal, not out, says umpire Carrington. So an anticlimax to the end of the 19th over. The penultimate over of this innings, Wayne Holder winning the toss and electing to bat. The Limers 11, 116 for 4. Agard, he's on 26. And with him is Estwick, 19 deliveries faced for his 8 runs, 116 for 4.
I wonder if
So Wayne Holder as a senior man in the commentary box, 116 for 4 going into the final over. It's going to be bowled by Ogies. What are your thoughts on what would be a defendable target or the intended target by the Limers 11?
Well, I would have to wonder, first of all, if at 116 for 4 and 19, if that would be enough to challenge the very strong batting of the veterans.
They've gone
But
for
one would hope that, well, one would believe that at this position, the Limers would want to score at least another 10, 12 runs and at 100 and look to get it to somewhere near 130.
But I can tell you, after first delivery, they've gotten 2 runs. A delivery played backward of square by Estwick as he goes into double swiggers. He goes up to 10 and they score up to 118 for 4. Ogies into ball delivery wide outside the off stump and driven sweetly through the cover region. Gone for 1. And that's all they'll be waiting for. This has been some poor running by these two.
You call it poor running. I'm saying is that these guys are doing their best. Remember, we're talking about over 50s men.
But they could have walked that second run, Wayne Holder. And it looks like the fielder down there didn't even have an arm as Ogies aborts his run. Something not quite right. With the scores 119 for 4. 4 legal deliveries remaining. 119 for 4. Agard facing up to Ogies, driving through the cover region, gone for 1.
And Agard has not even completed that one by the time the ball reaches the fielder at deep cover.
120 for 4. Agard goes up to 27. For his 27 runs, he would have faced some 19 deliveries. With him is Estwick. He would have faced 21 deliveries for his 11 runs. And 120 for 4. Wayne Holder runs on the board in a final. Are always runs on the board.
Well, yes, it is a final and it has its own kind of pressure. I agree.
Short outside the off stump. Slap to the fielder on the cover boundary. Yet again, dealing in singles.
Well, the Limers, I'm not so sure they'll be very happy, though, with the returns that they have had in the second half of this innings whatsoever. Because generally, and in a T20 game, you want to see an acceleration and increase in the scoring in the second half.
Keeper Lafon. Amber's back, they've gone for 1. And they didn't even think about the second Wayne Holder.
Well, again, Agard struggling with his slight impediment.
122 for 4. 1 legal delivery remaining. I'll endeavor to run through the scorecard quickly for you. Ken Mears, he was caught. Vibrant Green off the bowling of Brian Johnson for 34. Key was caught. Pedro Agard off the bowling of Brian Johnson for 34 as well. Gregory Gaskin, he was caught brilliantly by Raymond Ogies. Diving forward off the bowling of Anthony Morris without scoring. And Michael Agard, he's not out on 28. A Labour 28 off some 20 deliveries. Jefferson Gibbons, he was bowled Brian Johnson without scoring. First delivery he faced. And Dave Estwick, he's on 12 off some 22 deliveries. As the final delivery of this innings down the track and not taken cleanly by the keeper, but at the end, Wayne Holder finally completing the stumping. It looks like wicketkeeper Lafon.
Well, he got that one wrong because by the time he managed to pull the stump up, the batsman had returned to his ground. But a missed stump nonetheless. But importantly, no run added to the total. And the Limers at 122 for 4, as I mentioned before. I'm not so sure they'll be very happy after that brilliant start they would have been given by the opening pair of Ken Mears and Keith Seal. But all credit to the veterans for really hauling themselves right back and taking control of the game just as it seemed to be slipping away.
So yes, Wayne, we would have went through the scorecard. I'll run through the bowlers and have your analysis on their performances. Vibrant Green, 4 overs, no maidens, 27 runs, no wicket.
Well, Green had a fairly wayward start. Green had a fairly wayward start. I think his first over went for some 11 runs, but then he managed to get it pulled together. And although he wasn't able to make the breakthrough, he was steady without being really penetrative.
Hayden Archer, 1 over, very expensive over, weighing hold of 15 runs, and immediately pulled out of the attack.
Dragged from the attack immediately by Captain Johnson, knowing his players, also probably knowing the opposition batsmen and knowing of their propensity for being better players of the faster bowling, and immediately he brought in his slower bowlers, pulling Archer from the attack.
Ian Drake's 4 overs, none for 21.
2 overs of left-arm orthodox spin at the start, and then 2 overs of stiff medium pace at the death. He did a good job. I think his captain couldn't fault a lot of what he did.
Anthony Morris, 4 overs, 1 wicket for 12 runs.
Described in one word, brilliant. Like you mentioned, conceding a boundary off his very first delivery, but then after that, lessons got very, very tight, give away nothing whatsoever, and could easily have had another wicket or two.
Brian Johnson, the surprise package, we hold a ball and a bit of a leg spin. 4 overs, 3 wickets for 26 runs.
Well, yes, Brian Johnson, again, attempting to bowl that ball out of the back of the hand. He did bowl a couple of very deliveries and was penalized for it, being struck for a couple of maximums, but generally he was able to understand what was required, kept the ball one side of the pitch generally, and the batsman looking to get after him, give him that opportunity to pick up 3 wickets for 26 runs.
Raymond O'Geese being asked to bowl some difficult overs. In the death, 3 overs, none for 18.
Common bowling, so another stiff medium pace spell from Raymond O'Geese, bowling wicket to wicket and having the batsman unable to really get after him, and he kept it fairly tight. 3 overs for 18 runs in the death, very, very commendable. So
your thoughts on the run chase as we head to the breakaway and hold it. Remember, Limers 11 winning the toss, and after their allotment of 20 overs, 122 for 4. Your thoughts on the run chase?
Well, it's going to take a very, very valiant effort, a big, big effort from the Limers bowlers and fielders to restrict a very powerful veterans batting lineup. We can look at the veterans batting lineup now. You're going to have Ron Bates, very dangerous player, very ebullient opening batsman, still as ebullient as he was in his youth. Ron Bates, Jeffrey LaFawn, the wicketkeeper, has done very well throughout the competition. Captain Johnson is also one of the leading run scorers, and generally Pedro Agard, we know of his abilities. Vibert Green, another one of those players who you can depend on to be quite effective. And interestingly, Bates, among one of the leading scorers in the competition. I think his innings could be key to this chase.
All right. At the end of 20 overs, Limers made 122 for 4. The veterans will need to make 1, 2, 3 in 20 overs. We're still here at the BRC grounds. Lovely Brigade on lovely Easter Monday. We'll keep this thing going.
122. Roland, very good again.
Right, yes, and we welcome you back to. Sorry. And we welcome you back to the Barbados National Oil Company facility here at Woodburn in St. Philip, where we are in the break between innings in the final of the second Amas Masters over 50 T20 cricket competition. But we have been joined by a very, very important guest flying all the way from Florida in the USA, Mr. Raj Singh, who has recently been elected president of the Cricket West Indies Masters Association. And let's first of all welcome Mr. Singh to Barbados and offer our congratulations to you, sir, and your impressions of what you've seen so far.
Yes, thank you very much for the welcome, glowing welcome. I think you're talking about the match today so far?
Well, yeah, what you've seen since
Yes,
you've
it's
been
a
here.
beautiful ground, lovely venue, and I was expecting the batting team there to get some more runs with that start that they had. Six, I think they had about 50 and 6 overs without loss, so they fell away there, I think, a bit. But I think veterans had some good bowling that pegged them back. So the game seems to be going okay, but from what I'm seeing and my assessment and talking to the other guys here, I think veterans should have this match wrapped up fairly quickly.
Cricket West Indies Masters Association, you have recently been elected as the president. Can you give us a bit of a background as to where the association is at the moment? Is that?
Yes, Cricket West Indies Masters Association came about firstly in 2019. We were asked to form an organizing committee to take a team to the 2020 World Cup over 50s, right? At that time in 2019, January 2019, I was just thinking about doing over 50 cricket. But since then, and we were, the name that we operated under was West Indies Masters, I think, Organizing Committee, World Cup over 50 Organizing Committee. So it was specifically formed just to do that World Cup. I never knew, the amount of work and things that it entailed, getting a team prepared, and our mandate is now extended, from, is now extended from over 50s now to over 60s also, and over 40s also. So we capture now three levels, right? So in addition to only the World Cups, we got a lot of bilateral and bilateral series. Not only with one team, Tri-Nation series, quadrilateral series. We just came back from Texas, playing in a quadrilateral series with the U.S., Canada, and a second U.S. team. We're heading out to England in July to play England, India, Wales, and ourselves, right? Then over 60 World Cup is in September in Australia. That will be having 12 teams also. So we've got a lot of work, and we're planning also a 8-team tournament here in Barbados, right? That's one of the reasons for my visit here today. The next few days, I got some meetings with the sports and the tourism ministry officials tomorrow. So there's a lot of exciting things on the cards.
You go by the name, well, the acronym CWIMA, Cricket West Indies. Is there a relationship between your organization and the official Cricket West Indies who govern cricket in the Caribbean?
No. We are totally independent from the West Indies Cricket Board, Cricket West Indies. We just use the name that they use, Cricket West Indies, but we have Masters Association after it. And we are not affiliated with the ICC. So it's a total, our governing body is based in Australia, right? So both for the over 50s, over 40s, and over 60s.
So you're saying that there is a World Masters Cricket Association, separate and distinct from the ICC.
Correct, yeah.
Any thoughts or any on forming a relationship though with
Yeah,
the,
I
the
know the
former
body
governors?
for the over 50s and the over 40s, they're looking to get affiliated with the ICC.
So you mentioned that you are here in Barbados with some ideas of putting together a tournament in the Caribbean, but right here in Barbados. Can you tell us a bit more about that? Would you be able to expand on that?
We've invited 8 teams, namely England, Wales, India, UAE, Canada, and the USA. And we're going to be fielding 2 West Indies teams, the main West Indies team and a President 11. So in that way, this is an over 50 tournament. In that way, we'll be building our pool of over 50 cricketers. And this tournament will be a step, it's going to be used as a yardstick to select the World Cup squad. The World Cup over 50 is going to be played in March 2023 in South Africa once again, because the one that was held in 2020, that one had to be aborted because of COVID. So this tournament is being planned to be used for that, to ensure that we select the best team.
So you've made your first forays into the Caribbean itself, because I realize that a lot of emphasis has been placed on the United States side of things. How is that relationship though between the Caribbean and the United States Association?
When we first started, right, in 2019, putting together a team, it wasn't easy because you had to get players who could afford, they had to pay their own expenses, right? So it was very tough getting people who were fit, who was cricket ready, and who were also able to pay their way, right? We were able to raise some funds. Actually, Cricket West Indies donated $10,000 to us. The entire tour, the World Cup in 2020, cost us about $110,000. We had some other sponsors, and so we raised like about $25,000, which we helped some of the players that who needed assistance. But largely, everybody funded their own expenses. So one of the other things that we're going to be doing in November is that we want to honor the legends, right, of the 70s, 80s period. We're calling it the Fire in Babylon Banquet Dinner. We're presently in negotiations with Sandals to sponsor this event. And we hope to invite a lot of the legends like Clive Lloyd, Alvin Carlstrom, Grenade Haynes, on the quartet and so on, to be part of that event.
Well, Mr. Singh, you seem to be a man with a lot to tell, and I hope that we can be able to meet up again to really expand on the little tidbit that you've given us. You've really teased me generally, and I'm sure that we will speak again with
sure.
your
I'll
permission.
Be here for the next few days, so
well, right. So I will.
We can catch up and talk
I will
some more,
make sure I get your contacts, and we will speak again. The match has resumed, and I'm sure that this is what you're really here
exactly.
for, to enjoy
enjoy the game and get some more,
and also enjoy this wonderful atmosphere.
Some more players here.
And this wonderful atmosphere here. Okay. So definitely, thank you so much, Mr. Raj Singh, the newly elected president of the Cricket West Indies Masters Association. He is here in Barbados for some discussions regarding Masters cricket in Barbados. And we here at Anything Cricket Let's Talk will definitely be speaking to him again and bringing you a lot more. Thanks again, Mr. Singh. So while we were speaking with Mr. Singh, the game resumed, and we have already had some action, Kirkstone, because in that very first over, we saw the fall of a wicket, that of Jeffrey Lafond, snapped up at slip by Michael Agard off Victor Patrick for no score. And now after that 1 over, the veterans 2 runs for 1 wicket.
I think too, we in hold of that That wicket would have taken Patrick to the top of the wicket taking pile as well. And a comfortable catch taken in the end by Michael Agard. Straight to him, really. All he needed to do was complete the catch, basically.
Right, so in pursuit of a total of 123, the veterans set back very early by a delivery from Victor Patrick, one that held his own. The ball going on with the arm, taking the outside edge, and Lafon just groping outside the off stump. An easy catch taken by Michael Agard. So we've had Ron Bates, who opened the batting with Lafon on one, and Pedro Agard, who replaced Lafon at the wicket. He is also on one. And after some time, we await the completion of the arrangement, the fielding arrangements for Andy Blackman, who is going to bowl from the southern end with wicketkeeper Gibbons standing up. Blackman, right arm medium pace, is on the off stump, and Agard coming across his wicket and stroking it up to extra cover, and there is no run. Andy Blackman, Kirkstone, a household name in the BCL community cricket for I don't know how many years.
A lot of years he played this trade for the Bashiba side. He's a stalwart down in the St. Joseph area. He's on his way.
Here he comes, outside the off-stump, driven aerially over the head of Gaskin at square cover, down to the boundary for 4.
But interestingly enough, Pedro Agard, who's predominantly very right-handed in his batting, hitting this one through the offside. So clearly indicating that there was a bit of whiff on offer from the bowler, Blackman.
And Blackman generally, from what I have seen of him in the competition so far, generally prefers to get the ball to swing away from the right-handed batsman. Something that I'm not, he normally tends to start his deliveries quite straight, looking to turn the batsman inside out. But the two deliveries he's bowled so far have been either on our stump or outside the off stump. Here he comes again to bowl to Agard, and this time he's in his more usual position, starting this one just around middle and leg, and Agard coming into his wicket, working it out to mid wicket and getting a single just as he rotates the strike with Ron Bates, the total going up to 7.
The script here is it's really quite clear for the Limer side. They need to take wickets rather early to put some pressure back onto this very experienced veterans lineup. So they need wickets, and they need them very early in the proceedings.
And also a very proficient batting lineup, one must add. The veterans who have dominated this competition in the two seasons in which it has been held. Brian Johnson and his men clearly the best team in the competition up to this stage. But the Limers have proven to be very, very competitive over the time also, and will be looking to upset the veterans on this occasion. Delivery full up to the bat, driven by Bates up to mid-off. The batsmen take off quickly for one. The return from Albert Auguste, Canis Auguste, a new name I'm hearing for the first time this tournament, has his return back to the bowler's end. But in that time, Bates picks up his second run, and Agard comes back on strike. It's 8 for 1 in over number 2. Very buoyant atmosphere here at the BNOC, driven by Agard up to Auguste at mid-off. This time the ball traveling much too quickly to the fielder to contemplate a single, and Auguste getting down behind it, fielding cleanly, and there is no run slip. And the man at a short, wide third man, deepish gully, one would have to say, outside the off-stump, hit away, aerially, out towards deep cover. The sweeper fielder there is Gregory Gaskin, coming around to his right and fielding in his right hand and restricting the scoring to 1. So Agard has really immediately showed his intention. Any width, he's going to look to punish that delivery. Another one outside the off stump and struck away by Agard. In the air, it traveled for quite a while, but no danger in the shot. So that brings us to the end of over number 2. 9 for 1 veterans. They're looking to get at 223.
Well, yes, Wayne. 9 for 1 at the end of 2 overs. Agard, both him and Bates can be very, very destructive if they are allowed to settle in. And the Limers team, they will need to strike early. Victor Patrick, the leading wicket taker, the captain, has gone to his leading wicket taker quite early in the piece, looking for those early wickets.
Well, yes, Agard has been rather effective in this competition. Used to be a bit of a quickish medium pace bowler in his day. He's lost the most of that pace now. He tends to bowl just a couple of steps. I'm not so sure if the action suggests an off break, but I don't see anything spinning back. He tends to get the ball to rather hold its own and
Just
go
going
straight
on with the arm, Victor
just
Patrick.
around, yes, starting that delivery just around the off stump, just outside the off stump. Here he is to bowl to Agard, and this one is flighted up on the toes, and Agard clipping it away out to mid wicket, where Gregory Gaskin is in attendance. And the batsman picked up a single to take the total into double figures. It's 10 for 1 in over number 3. Right arm over the wicket is Agard going for a big drive and Bates and beaten outside the off stump. The ball going through him. Wicketkeeper Gibbons not able to take it cleanly, but Bates definitely beaten with that delivery, looking for a big drive, and the ball just sliding away from the outside edge.
Typical local off spinners mode, Wayne. Just going on with the arm, sliding on with the new ball as well.
Again, a tight delivery. Bates can do no more than to get into his wicket. Look to work it into the onside. The ball comes off the outside edge, runs into the offside, just in front of wicketkeeper Jefferson Gibbons. As Patrick is in to bowl to Bates, and Bates this time very cautious, very, very circumspect, and pushing this delivery into the offside.
I will quickly mention to you, Wayne, that the two fielders are one at deep mid wicket and one at long on.
Well, yes. So, Patrick into bowl to Bates, and this time he's using his feet, looking to get down the wicket, but Patrick, equal to it, pulls it down. Bates can't get to the pitch, and eventually has to thrust his pad at it. The ball just bubbling away into the offside. So an excellent over bowled by Victor Patrick, a man we call Babalu over the years, a man whose cricketing exploits have taken him as far as South Africa. He would have also played in the leagues in England for some time.
Yeah, so Blackman, Wayne Holder, will continue the attack from the southern end. He's making some adjustments in the field. And if you said he was predominantly getting the ball to swing away from the right-handed batsman, I'm quite bemused as to why he would want to field it on the long-on boundary.
Here he is, Blackman, short of the back foot goes Agard, cracks it away down to deep cover. Derwin Thompson, the man on the sweeper position there, fields. And the batsmen collect a single. Takes it now up to 11 for 1. So all the ones, 1-1 for 1. Over is 3.1. And Bates on 2 comes on strike. And he's wearing number 1. So all about 1.
Yeah, all of the ones in attendance, Wayne Holder.
Here comes Blackman. Ball to Bates. Bates waits for this delivery and then strokes it up to extra cover, straight to the fielder though, and he can't score. It remains 11 for 1. Remember, the veterans chasing a target of 123 set by the Limers. Blackman ran up over just about 8 meters, chops this away over the head of Victor Patrick at that deep gully position, down to the boundary at third man for 4. Patrick for a moment thought he had a chance, but the ball traveling much too quickly, a bit too high for him also, and he can only watch it go over his head and down to the third man boundary. Blackman somewhat bemused and befuddled, having beaten the batsman, also having to concede 4.
I think that was intentionally played by Bates. Short delivery outside the off stump and intentionally steering over the fielder at slip firstly and then clearing the fielder at short third man as well.
That's a boundary to bring Bates to 6. Bring the total to 15. This time he's hitting it again off the outer half of the bat, but this time he got a lot more bat on it. He got it a lot further in front of that man at short third man, and down to a deep backward point position. It runs for 4. So Bates, in his usual fashion, taking advantage of anything slightly loose and also willing to take the chance. Batsman not afraid to take a chance, always wants to be in control of the bowlers.
Well, what I can tell you, the two batsmen here, they will never die guessing.
Definitely. Blackman passes umpire Lewis and brings Bates on the front foot. The batters quickly through for 1, and again I use that word quickly advisedly because that is relative. Agard coming through from the non-strikers and getting in quite safely as the return from Gittins. Winston Cam Gittins fielding at mid-wicket is into the keeper. So 1 more to the veterans total. It's 20 for 1. Bates goes up to 11. Agard on 9 comes onto the front foot, strokes this delivery up to Captain Seal, who is there at extra cover. Batsman can't score. They've got to throw that over quite quickly despite a couple of boundaries. Blackman has now given some 17 runs in his 2 overs, and the veterans after 4 are 20 for 1.
Well, Blackman.
So Victor Patrick very much at the head of the field as far as the most wickets for the competition is concerned. It's Brown Bates down the track. He's going to add another scalp to his number. Victor Patrick as Bates left stranded down the track after using his feet. The wicket keeper removing the bills is quite swift action by Jefferson Gibbons, and a big strike by Patrick, a big strike by the Limers. Both openers for the veterans gone. Run Bates, stump Jefferson Gibbons, bowl Victor Patrick 11. It's 20 for 2 after 4 overs at one ball.
What was interesting is that at the end of the previous over before this, Bates came down the wicket, used his feet as well, and he actually got back to ball this time. But this one, yet again, the Babaloi operating in his modus operandi, angling the ball away with the arm, and Bates down the track, leaving home no bus fear at all, and the stumping easily completed by the wicket keeper.
Well, yes, an excellent bowler. We've already talked about Victor Patrick. The only thing off-break about that is the action. He has an off-break action, but not one off-break is he going to bowl. Getting that ball to slide straight on.
Slide straight on with the arm. I mentioned that too.
And well, both of his wickets would have come in such fashion. He had a Lafon caught at slip off the outside edge, groping at one outside the off stump. And this time, Bates left in the dark, more or less, and left stranded down the track.
And a good bit of work by wicketkeeper Gibbons as well. Because for a brief moment or two, he would have been blindsided by the batsman coming down the track. So wicketkeeper Gibbons did extremely well.
Well, yes, because Bates, you can recognize, had the idea that if he was beaten, his pad was going to be his second line of defense. So in the meantime, the new batsman has made it out to the middle. That new batsman being Captain Brian Johnson. And if ever a ship needed a captain to steer it through murky waters, this veteran ship definitely does. This delivery is driven sweetly up to extra cover. The man from mid-off is Ken Mears, goes after it and brings it. But I don't know if he pulled it back or if it stopped. I'm blinded here by a plant to my left. But what is important is that the batsman got 2 and Johnson is off the mark. It's 22 for 2.
You've been around cricket for much longer than I have, but everyone in Barbados knows that one thing you don't give Brian Johnson at all in cricket is whiff. Brian Johnson is one of the better strikers of the cricket ball through the offside.
Well, no coaching, Kurt. I'll be rather that you don't coach. Patrick into bowl to Johnson. This one much tighter on the off stump, and Johnson covering up on the back foot pushes it into the onside. There is no run. So the atmosphere really bubbling here at the BNOC ground, Kirk Strawn. The crowd is in, very much involved in the game. As this delivery is again on a very tight line, not giving any width. I think Patrick has been hearing you, Kurt Strawn, and pushed into the onside. Johnson can't score. It remains 22 for 2.
I wasn't really coaching. It was just that is public knowledge going around the cricket in circles.
Well, Patrick, he's been around long enough to also know. And in he comes to bowl to Johnson, and Johnson is coming onto the front foot and playing a late open face glide past the first slip fielder, and picks up a single towards short third man. So very cleverly played there by Johnson. Clearly, he recognizes that threat posed by Patrick when it comes to that delivery outside the off stump, and you can see him deliberately getting the pad across, getting behind the line of the delivery. In the meantime, Pedro Agard is now come up for strike. And again, this is another very good delivery, causing Agard to really get down on it as quickly as possible. The ball into the middle and off stump, and Agard pushing it into the onside for no run. So Victor Patrick has proven very effective. He's removed the two openers for the Veterans 11, and after some 5 overs, the Veterans 23 for 2. In contrast to the Limers, though, the Limers getting off to a very brisk start. The Veterans now having to feel their way against some excellent bowling.
As we get back to sweet cricket at the start of over number 6, the final over of the power play as Blackman is bringing Johnson forward onto the front foot, plays this delivery into the offside, where it's fielded by Captain Keith Seal. Wayne Holder, a quick comparison at the end of 5 overs. The Limers, they were 46 without loss, and the Veterans, they are 23 for 2, so we've got a game on.
Definitely got a game. Like I mentioned earlier, the crowd definitely involved in this one, because the Veterans would have come into this match as overwhelming favorites. And it's always a case of the underdog enjoying the favor of the neutral spectators, that one would have to say.
As the crowd continues to grow here at the BNOC Oval, Wayne Holder, the game is on. They're in pursuit of 123 for victory. The veteran side, well, you can call them the defending champions, although there was a break in the competition last year for COVID.
Well,
so
yes.
the default defending champions, they're 24 for 2.
Well, and the true champion, the true mettle of a champion is will always be shown in situations of adversity, and we will really see what the veterans have to offer when they come under pressure.
Blackman past umpire Lewis now into ball to Agard. Agard is having an almighty E4 outside the off stump. Doesn't make contact as the ball goes through to be taken by the keeper. I like the captaincy here of Keith Seal, though, Wayne Holder. In the 6 over the old power play, he still has Agard in at slip, looking to take wickets.
As a matter of fact, I'm looking for the 2 fielders allowed outside the circle, one at deep cover and one at long on.
As Blackman on his way, right arm over the wicket into bowler Agard. Bowls the delivery, which is bringing Agard forward. Plays gently into the onside, where Gregory Gaskin comes in from mid-wicket to do the fielding. And Agard, he completes an easy single. He goes up to 10 as a scorer in the course of the final over of the power play. 25 for 2, 5.5 overs, Wayne Holder.
That is the modus operandi of Andy Blackman, starting that outswinger just around the middle and leg stump and forcing the batsmen to play the ball off their wicket and also defend against the ball going across them.
Nice, easy, gentle approach on his way into ball to Brian Johnson. And that is whiff again, Wayne Holder, and driven sweetly and pleasantly again by Brian Johnson into the offside. As long as there's whiff on offer, you will be pleased with the stroke play of Brian Johnson. So at the end of the power play, Wayne Holder, 26 for 2. Johnson, he's got 5. With him is Pedro Agard. He's on 10. And a quick comparison after 6 overs, the Limers, they were 48 without loss. And the veterans, in pursuit of 123, Mr. DJ, 26 for 2. So whether you're now joining us live on the stream, this is the final of the Amas 50 over 50 competition. The finals playing here at the BNOC ground in the rural parish of St. Philip. The veterans 11 versus the Limers 11. The veterans 11, the defending champions in pursuit of 123. They are 26 for 2 as we start over number 7. It's being bowled by the leading wicket taker of the tournament, Victor Patrick. He's on his way. Bowls a delivery outside the off stump. Brian Johnson shoulders, arms. Ball goes to be taken by wicketkeeper Gibbons. No run resulting. 26 for 2 over number 7. Remember, they're in pursuit of a target of 123 as Patrick on his way bowls another delivery which brings Johnson forward. Yet again, he doesn't score as the ball is played back to the bowler. On his follow-through, does the tidying up. Patrick, nice, easy, gentle approach. Pass umpire Carrington now. Johnson forward. Yet again, wicketkeeper Gibbons from behind the stumps does the tidying up. Captain Keyseal also in attendance. No run resulting, Wayne Holder.
Well, I think that the plot is clear. Johnson definitely on a mission here to see Victor Patrick out.
Patrick, 3.2 overs. Delivery hit high, hard, and very far. Handsomely over, long off. Yet again, Wayne Holder, as soon as you give Brian Johnson a smidgen of room, he will capitalize.
Well, that is an excellent shot because Patrick floated that one up a bit too far and allowed Johnson to get onto that front foot, get under the delivery, and he stroked it sweetly over long off, almost effortlessly. The ball sailing over long off, going for a maximum the first 6 of the innings.
One spectator to my right, Wayne Holder, saying that shot was worth 12. But in cricket, you only maximum is 6. So it takes the score of that maximum up to 32. And Brian Johnson into double figures. He goes up to 11. He's faced just 10 deliveries. He's struck 1-6. As Patrick looking to adjust his line of left into bowler Johnson. Johnson turning this one on the onside. Going for a quick single. They'll get it quite easily in the end. As the fielder from backward square comes to his left, does the fielding, but sends a wayward return to wicketkeeper Gibbons. Well backed up there by Blackman coming from around to his left in the point region. We hold the score up by 1 more to 33. Well, 33 for 2.
Those 2 early wickets, though, Kirk, are really adding some spunk to this game. You know, it would have been a pity to see a game just the veterans just run away with this after restricting the Limers to just 122.
So at the end of over number 7, an over in which Patrick, he would have completed his allotment of overs. 4 overs, no maidens, 2 for 13. Remember, he was struck for a big 6 by Brian Johnson off the penultimate over of the inning. So that's been a good spell by Victor Patrick again. And that 2 wickets as well would have taken him to the top of the wicket-taking chart, Wayne Holder. He goes up to 10 wickets in the competition. But his turn with the ball has come to an end, and we will not only time we will see him now is running around in the outfield.
Well, the opportunity for two of his teammates to overhaul those 10 wickets, Derwin Thompson and Winston Gittins, both with 5 wickets apiece. So one of them would require to take at least 6 wickets to get to pass Patrick for the prize for the most wickets in the competition.
So, waiting to see if there will be a change at the southern end. But it looks like the captain is going with his tried and trusted. It looks like Blackman still with ball in hand to complete what should be his final over before this 3 overs, no maidens, none for 20. And some adjustments being made in the field. He's asked the fielder at long on to come around to his left and go all the way back. He's also sending back. Now with the restrictions being lifted, Wayne Holder, he's sending back the fielder at long off. He has a fielder 3/4 of the way on the sweeper boundary. And a fielder at backward point, fielder in at extra cover in the captain key seal. And Michael Agard in his favorite position of slip. He's been there from inception as Blackman on his way. Right arm, medium pace pass, umpire Lewis now into ball to Johnson. Johnson is getting a wide delivery and widely called wide by umpire Jimmy Lewis. Jimmy Lewis, one of the seasoned umpires and senior umpires now on the Barbados Cricket Umpires Association panel, Wayne Holder.
Well, yes, Lewis very much on the up and coming. One of those younger umpires. Looking forward to big things from him. The Barbados Cricket Umpires Association officials, and very much earning a name for himself too.
As Blackman looking to earn a name for himself, picking up some wickets on his way into bowler Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson is driving into the offside where Captain Seal coming around to his left does a bit of work. He got an awkward bounce, but he still did well, Ray and Holder, and restricted the batsman to no run.
Oh, yes, I didn't even know he had those footballing skills. But he got his foot to it, got his body behind it, obeying the basic principle of the second line of defense. If you're not going to stop it with your hand, stop it with some other part of your body. As Blackman on his way into bowl again to Brian Johnson, punch it into the offside straight to Seal again. So this has been a disciplined over start to the over by Blackman. 3 deliveries going in basically the same area. Well, yes, because Blackman has not been his usual very tidy self. In this innings up to this over.
Remember, he started the over with a wide, but he's come back well. He's on his way into ball to Johnson again, outside the off stump. A bit of room, and as long as there's room, Johnson will score. Delivery, punch to the fielder on the sweeper boundary. On the arms is returned up to the captain seal. One more to the score, takes his up to 35. 35 for 2.
The fielder on the deep cover boundary is Derwin Thompson. He saved his arm that time. He didn't bowl it in. He underarmed it into the...
Well, he would have thrown it in with his bowling action anyway.
I said bowled in.
As Blackman on his way into bowl to Agard. Agard is dropped by wicketkeeper Gibbons. It was a difficult chance being holder, but in the circumstances, it was one that needed to be taken.
I'm sure Gibbons himself would be very disappointed. He would have expected to take that catch. The ball actually hit the bottom of the bat, the Q-tip of the bat, and it was dropping as it got to him. I think it was dropping towards his instep, towards his ankles. But I'm sure Gibbons would have taken that catch 9 out of 10 times.
36 for 2. Agard with that chance goes up to 11 with the single. And Johnson back on strike. He's on 13, facing up to Blackman. To this delivery, Johnson is smashing in the short delivery outside the off stump, down to Derwin Thompson.
So he has some flowing shots here by Brian Johnson. But one thing you can say, Blackman bowling to his field.
Yes.
All the balls going directly to fielders.
One more to the score, 37 for 2. We're in the course of over number 8. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the target is 123. They have all of 20 overs in which to do so. As Blackman on his way past umpire Lewis now from the southern end of the ground into both Pedro Agard, who's forward, plays the delivery into the offside, gone for a quick single, gets it quite comfortably in the end as the score at the end of over number 8, 38 for 2 Wayne Holder.
Well, DJ Kurt. So, Kirk Swan, that should be the team song for this competition. Not a more appropriate song than the one chosen by DJ Kirk, keeping with the atmosphere and keeping it lively and bubbly. Old veteran.
I was started to think that even the DJ was on the side of the veterans 11 side, but I will not entertain that thought as we head back to cricket with the score on 38 for 2 and the first bowling change as Dave Estwick will come into the attack from the northern or pavilion end of the ground, and he'll be bowling up to Pedro Agard, who's got 12.
Well, some big boots to fill for Estwick, filling in for Victor Patrick.
Patrick, some 4 overs just for 13 runs, 2 wickets. So Estwick on his way into bowler delivery outside the off stump. Wait for the signal from the umpire if there's any coming. The umpire does call wide. So one more to the score takes it up to 39. 39 for 2. We're in the course of over number 9 as Estwick on his way into ball to Agard. Agard is playing a delivery into the offside in the point region. Wicketkeeper Gibbons very quickly from behind the stumps does the tidying up. No run resulting 39 for 2.
Well, Agard is almost conventional now. Estwick with the 3 fielders on the boundary on the onside, deep square, deep mid wicket, long on, I'm sorry. Also a long off.
Delivery hit straight to the captain, seal at point, and a sloppy bit of work by the captain, not leading by example, but allows the batsman to complete a single. So one more to Agard as he goes up to 13, brings Johnson, who's got 14 on strike, and the score 40 for 2.
A rare error by Seal in the field today. He has been flawless up to this particular point, but I always say, Kurt, nobody gets 100.
40 for 2 as Estwick bowling up to his teammate and captain, clubmate. Short outside the off stump, cut past the field at point. They've gone for 1. Johnson very, very eager and interested in the second. Will complete it right now as well. So 2 more to the score, 2 more to Johnson. He goes up to 16 and the score up to 42 for 2. We're in the course of over number 9. It's being delivered by Dave Estwick. Bit of off spin wing holder.
Well, the veterans breathing a bit easier now. This partnership of 22 easing some of the worries they would have had having lost both of their opening batsmen.
Estwick into Johnson. Johnson punching this one straight to Captain Seal, who does the fielding in the point region. No run resulting. So Estwick, Wayne Holder, not a lot of complications here in the action or the off spin.
Well, yes, and keeping it outside the off stump, you would notice that seems to be the mode of operation as this ball played up to point to Seal. The batsman took a single to a ball that I thought that was traveling too quickly to the fielder, but Seal somehow or another seemed to have some difficulty in getting the ball out of his grasp.
So at the end of over number 9, as we hand you over to the DJ, 43 for 2 DJ Kirk. As the new bowler will be Gregory Gaskin coming into the attack. Trundling, another off spinner coming into the attack.
Well, at least an off spin action.
So spin predominantly being used by both these sides. And Gaskin now look at add his bit of mystery to the proceedings.
Interesting choice of word, Kirk. Interesting choice of words. Mystery from Gaskin.
Gaskin operating I'll start with the fielders right at the boundaries. A fielder in at deep mid wicket or the cow corner region. Feel that long on, feel that long off, and a fielder on the sweeper boundary. Feel that third man short outside the all stump. Slap to the fielder at point coming around to his right. There's a good bit of work there. Looks like S-Twit. So the Limers team clearly not giving up the holder. They're fighting tooth and nail in the field as the score goes up to 44.
Well, you said it, Kirk. Runs in a final are always going to be, there's always an extra bit of pressure applied when it comes to a final. And despite the total looking rather modest, we know what finals pressure can do.
Short delivery by Gaskin. Swung down to long on by Pedro Agard as the score goes up by one more to 45. 45 for 2. We're in the 10th over of the innings. We hold our some would say the halfway stage. 45 for 2.
And we can do a quick comparison at the end of this over.
Delivery outside the all stump. Wide called by umpire Lewis. And acknowledged by the score ladies. When you know the score ladies very, very well. As the score goes up by one more to 46.
Well, I know them well enough because of the excellent service they have provided me. I would have done some commentary here at earlier parts of the competition, and they have been nothing but cooperative, Kamisha and Sanchia, and I would like to publicly say thank you very much to the both of them. Well, I'm in love with Sanchia, but...
I can tell because you use Sanchia and cooperative the same sentence. 46 for 2. We're in the course of over number 10 as... Delivery bringing the batsman Johnson onto the front foot. And Captain Seal comes around and comes in and does the fielding.
But my love not reciprocated, I must say, unfortunately.
That's a bit unfortunate. Back to sweet cricket. 46 for 2. We're in the course of over number 10 as Cupid will not strike here at the BNOC ground. Short delivery to the outside and cut. One bounce, two bounces, and past the fielder coming around into the boundary. Looks like Derby Thompson got a bit of an awkward bounce way on holder, and that's the 50 as well, ladies and gentlemen, being brought up for the veterans 11 side. Remember, they're in pursuit of a target of 123, and with that boundary, they go up to 54-2 in the course of the 10th over.
62 deliveries, 42 minutes, 4 fours and 1 6, and this rebuilding partnership between Captain Brian Johnson steering his ship from the helm after they run into some rather choppy waters in the early part of the innings, and things beginning to look a lot easier, breathing a lot easier now.
A quick comparison at the end of this delivery way and holder as Gaskin on his way into Boulder Johnson. Then they've gone for another quick single. I think Captain Seal is going to have to do something here. He's going to have to come in tighter and force the batsman to hit the ball past him. But at the end of over number 10, I can tell you that they've gone to 51 for 2. And a quick comparison after 10 overs, the Limers 11 win holder, they were 70 without loss. But we know how their innings went into decline.
Well, we saw what happened in the second half of the veterans innings. And now it is down to the final quarter of the match. And it's going to be very interesting to find out. The overs remain 10. There are 72 runs required, and even I, with my limited ability at Mars, can tell you that that is a rate of 7.2 runs per over required. Am I correct?
Definitely.
I get 100 for that.
No, you also started by saying no one would ever get 100.
Nonetheless, I take over the ball by ball as we head into over number 11, as we mentioned, the final quarter. It's going to be very interesting from here. From this point on, Kirk, the Limers really require to take wickets. I don't think that they would think that they can bowl 10 overs and deny the veterans scoring 72 runs. So they need to take wickets at this crucial stage of the match. Estwick is going to continue. He's going to be bowling to Johnson, who is on 23. And the first delivery of the new over is short, pulled into the onside, but straight to the fielder there at short mid-wicket, and that is Ricky Allen, a man from Ricky's driving school, so he knows a thing or two about driving. As this delivery, Johnson's on the front foot, stares into the outside, looks up, and sees that Agard is calling him through for a sharp single, and as wicketkeeper Gibbons comes from behind the stumps. But yes, Kurt, a feature of the field setting, I noticed a number of the fielders tend to stay on the edge of the circle rather than come in and look to put the squeeze on the batsman.
Yeah, but batsmen as alert as Brian Johnson and Agard will make them pay each and every time.
Short cutaway in front of point. A single taken. They're going to stay on one. Agard is happy with one. Johnson might have been contemplating coming for a second run. So
Agard definitely at all not interested in the second run.
well, he moves up to 15, and he knows that his work is cut out. If I know Pedro Agard,
I remember Agard telling me at Maple, you should never get run up for going for a quick single when you can hit a six.
well, we see what happens after this. As this delivery off the back foot goes Johnson. Hits it hard into the pitch. The ball goes bouncing up above the head of Estwick, a fairly diminutive character, but he leaps into the air and hauls the ball down. Makes it a dot ball. And again, and this delivery pulled again. He's finding Ricky driving away to his right and fielding cleanly. So good stuff here from Estwick. Managing to keep Johnson fairly quiet. And as you said, not giving Johnson the room that he likes or he enjoys. As this time, a good delivery. Appeal for a catch at the wicket from Gibbons.
I think hold on. If you really look at that delivery again, Estwick was really late in joining in the appeal. So well, a bit of gamesmanship coming from Estwick and the wicket keeper because Estwick was very, very late.
Not to take away that it was a really an excellent delivery because it pitched, it bounced, and the batsman having to get his bat inside the line quite quickly. And like you said, as soon as Gibbons went up, though, I actually looked towards the bowler to see his reaction, and I realized that he wasn't as keen as the umpire about that appeal. And just as we are joined by a very special guest, William Lashley, we've also been joined by a very unwelcome guest in the form of the rain, which has joined us here at Woodburn. Doesn't appear to be anything very threatening, though. The umpires not showing any concern, neither are the players on the field. But nonetheless, the game continues. Still fairly evenly poised as we welcome William Lashley. William Lashley, a man who has participated in the competition. He has been here from the very beginning, I believe. William, so far, the competition has gone very well. In your estimation, at least?
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for having me. And thank you for inviting me, first of all. The competition has been going very well. It's pretty well organized with all the restrictions that they had. Morris has put together a good tournament so far. The changes in the teams. So far, the best two teams, the ones that are playing the best, are out there. And they're making a close match of it, I would say.
So you were here from the inception. This competition started in 2020. How has it grown as far as you were concerned?
Let me correct you. This is my first year.
Well, you were around. Sorry,
I was around.
My apologies.
No. This is my first year.
But for actually playing.
Of playing, yeah. And what I can see, and I know Morris for a long time, it looks pretty organized, and it has been pretty organized for my tenure here so far. But you had another question?
I have been told that you have been I would have to say, the first locally based Barbadian to represent West Indies at the Masters level. in a competition somewhere in the United States. Could you tell the viewers a bit more about that?
Yes, well, that's true. My name was put up and I accepted. It was a really good tournament, good experience. The pitches were good, the conditions were good, and it was a hard competition because it was 45 overs, with 50s, 45 overs. It was tough. With back-to-back games playing, it really was hard on the body.
Well, we've got some action on the field as Brian Johnson goes for a big drive to a delivery from Gaskin outside the yard stump. A peel going up from the bowler and the wicketkeeper. Umpire Jimmy Lewis nods their head and sends Johnson on his way. So just as it appeared as the veterans are taking the upper hand in this match, they lose a very, very important wicket in that of their captain, Brian Johnson, caught by keeper Jefferson Gibbons of Gregory Gaskin for 27, 1-4, 1-6, 33 balls, 58 for 3, and the game still very much in the balance.
Well, I think that was a big loss there for the veterans. Brian is a guy that could control the game right to the end and win it. And this team, from what I've seen, the guys below here haven't really got much of a bat in this competition because they've been doing so well. So this is going to be a true test for them with these last overs and the pressure building in a final.
So the concept of Masters cricket, though, at the international level, I mean, we've been seeing, we see that Mr. Singh here from the Cricket West Indies Masters Association here to discuss the prospect of some kind of Masters festival here in Barbados. Do you see this, though, as a niche that we probably need to pursue a lot more?
Well, yes, I think he's here really to get a bigger pool of cricketers. The need of sponsorship. The committee has just really formed properly recently, and the sponsorship would help them be able to pick players based on talent, maybe over getting players that can afford to go.
So the players, for instance, in this competition now, will players from this competition be eligible to be part of the setup going forward?
Definitely. I don't know if he told you about the mini World Cup or Caribbean Cup that he's putting together for later this year in November, where I think we're gonna have 2 West Indian teams, and they're gonna be on showcase for
Problems here, and a batsman gone. Warren is run out. Excellent work by Ricky Aline. That man, the driving man there at short mid-wicket. The ball played to his left, getting a hand to it. Warren very keen on going for the sharp single, sent back by his partner, Pedro Agard, who would have been in trouble nonetheless. But the return from Aline, striking the stumps directly and finding Warren very much short of his ground, and now the Limers will think themselves in the ascendancy, dismissing the forced batsman by the run-out route. Winston Warren run out by Ricky Allen for no score, having not faced the ball. It's now 58 for 4 in the 13th over. Interesting times ahead.
Definitely. Pressure of a big game. Even Agard is looking like he's batting differently, as we all know. And now the loss of 2 wickets quickly. The other team is now really looking to press home. It's still, I think, is advantage the other team right now because the
Turned
pressure.
into the onside. Yes, but Pedro Agard, as I indicated to Kirk Swan earlier today, a couple of overs ago, that Agard seems to have set his stall to be the anchor of this inning. So as long as he remains there, I think he remains a danger to the Limers, as this one is stuck down to long on. Derwin Thompson comes around, skipping around to his left at long on to field and keeps the scoring down to 1, the total 59 for 4.
Yeah, Agard is going to be a big part of this finish if they're to win. he has to hang in there, and he has to score a few more boundaries as it goes along. Hopefully, we'll get some support here from Drake's, who's one of the younger over 50s, I think. Looking fitter than most.
As the required rate starts to mount now somewhat. One recalls a few overs ago stating that the required rate was 7.2. It has now reached 8.73 with 7.2 overs remaining and 64 runs still to win. So things heading in another direction as Ian Drakes, the new batsman, is playing carefully into the onside. That man, Ricky Allen, still very much in the action, comes in from his field to pick up. And at the end of over number 13, it is 59 for 4. The veterans in pursuit of a target of 173 set by the Limers. The veterans are the defending champions. Let's hear from our DJ Kirk. Keep it warm and bubbly.
Hey, okay. Interesting match. Interesting match, yeah. No problem. Interesting, huh? Scoring rate real slow. He ain't taking a chance. He really out doing the A-guard thing that he does. Huh? A-guard usually take a chance, like every once in a while, yeah. Yeah. They're fighters. But if it's out there, there's pressure on them, man, you know? Yeah, but he pushing it up by not scoring.
Paging Anthony Morris. Paging Anthony Morris. Please report to the scorer's desk. Anthony Morris. As we continue with the introduction of Derwin Thompson replacing Gregory Gaskin at the southern end. Gaskin 2 overs, 13 runs and 1 wicket. With the veterans now 59 for 4. They require 64 from 6 overs and 5 balls. This one helped around behind square, out to the deep backward square area. The ball not making it to the boundary, and we have 2 fielders sprinting in that direction. We've also seen Ian Drakes lapping Pedro Agard as the batsman complete 3. So a lot of running, a lot of action in that delivery. William, the ball played into a vast open area behind square on the onside, and you had one fielder coming from third man, one fielder running from from mid-wicket proper, and then the batsman also completing 3.
Well, I'm going to tell you, that's not going to help Pedro at all. Having to run all the runs. He needs a boundary without running.
62, it is 4-4, and Agard moves up to 21. And Drakes, who is yet to score, facing up to Derwin Thompson on the front foot, plays it away on the outside. Asks Agard about the possibility of coming through for 1, but Agard remains propped on his bat at the non-striker's end as Seal from point comes into field. We've got a very interesting game here, William. And what I am watching in particular is that required run rate as it begins to mount and mount very quickly. Outside the Austin driven in the air, falling short of Westwick at backward point. He manages to get a hand to it, doesn't bring it under control immediately, and allows the batsman through for a single. Drake's getting off the mark with that single. It is 63 for 4, but yes, William, that net run rate, is it getting away from the veterans?
Not completely, but pressure of a big game, huh? Pressure of a big game. Finals. It's putting a lot of pressure on batsmen.
Yeah, we got a spectator putting some pressure on us too. 'Cause if the ball is not on the ground, where is it?
In the air.
Okay, so that ball traveled in the air first bout to Eswick, but my man told me it wasn't in the air. Driven up to long off by Agard on this occasion, along the ground this time.
Along the ground.
64 for 4.
We got some technical people here.
Just one more question, William, and then you can go. If the batsman comes down on a Yorker and hits it, squeezes it into the pitch, did it leave the bat in the air?
Let's ask Thomas.
Right, so we finished with that discussion. David Eswick will continue to bowl from the northern end. The total is 64 for 4, 59 runs required from 6 overs, a required run rate of 9.83. And Eswick is into bowl 2. Agard going across the line, appeal for leg before wicket. Umpire Carrington shakes his head in the negative, signals a leg by instead as the batsman complete 1. It is 65 for 4. So it is going to be now 65 for 4. We have lost the sun, but we haven't lost the warmth or the brightness of the atmosphere. As Drakes swings this one away, opening the arms, gets it as far as Thompson coming in from the boundary at long on. So all that effort for just 1 run. I'm calling for Kirk Strawn to join me here immediately after this over. As Eswick continues, and he's outside the all stump. This time he's much too wide outside the all stump, so umpire Carrington turns to the scorers and spreads his arms. A wide is the result. 1 more to the total. Eswick into the next delivery, swatted away in the air, brilliantly taken by Gregory Gaskin on the deep mid-wicket boundary.
In a deeper hole now.
Well, that ball disappeared into the hands of Gregory Gaskin, and William Lashley said them in a deeper hole. I don't know if you can get any deeper than this, but the wicket of Pedro Agard, quite an important one and quite a juncture of this match, because definitely now the Limers in the ascendancy, but I think we need to pay some special attention to that excellent catch taken by Gregory Gaskin.
Definitely. At this age, that ball was flying, and Gaskin took that quite comfortably.
So Agard goes, caught by Gaskin, bowled by David Eswick for 22. The total now 67 for 5 with 3 balls left in the 15th over. I'm going to thank you very much, William, for joining us. Welcome to the over 50s Masters cricket area. I hope you have a long and successful career in that aspect of the game, having now left among the younger guys like Kirk Strawn and the like, and stepped up with the old veterans.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you,
Pleasure.
William Lashley. So Eswick into the new batsman, Anthony Morris. And his first delivery stabbed away into the offside. So David Eswick has come on and he has proved very, very effective, Kirk Strawn. He's got 2 deliveries left in his spell, and he's only conceded some 10 runs, and he's gotten that very crucial wicket of Pedro Agard. Could you have asked better from him?
Practicing off spinner, really. And I think he would have done extremely well for his captain here, Keith Seal, who had the confidence in him to bring him into the attack in the first place.
outside the off stump, chopped down to short third man by Morris to get off the mark. So one more to the total. Singles will not do it for the veterans now, I can tell you, not with a required run rate of 10.65. One ball left in the 15th over, 55 runs required. As I mentioned, we've lost the sun, Kurt,
Yes.
but we haven't lost any of the bubble or any of the warm atmosphere that has prevailed here at this final. As Estwick is in to bowl to Drakes, who's getting a short delivery, pulling it around. The ball goes bouncing out to the man Cam Gittins down there on deep backward square. The batsman come back for two. The return is relayed to Aline there at short mid wicket, but the batsman easily completing that second run. Drakes is going to run forever, and Morris, I also know, is still quite capable of quickly moving between the wickets. But what is in fact and true is that the veterans, in pursuit of 123 for victory, are 70 for 5 after 15 overs.
So as we head into over number 16, the start of over number 16, with the run rate getting like Mount Hillaby very high, the asking rate, one more to the score, takes the score up to 71 for 5. Remember, we hold the target is 123. So they are 52 runs away. They have all of 29 legal deliveries in which to get there.
And a required run rate of 10.6.
And Ian Drake's missing a delivery outside the off stump. Ball goes should be taken by keeper Gibbons.
And this run rate climbs so quickly with that one dot ball, it has gone to 11.14.
Well, the run rate, asking rate, getting like the gas prices.
Outside the off stump.
Meta dot delivery, 71 for 5. We're in course of over number 16. Ian Drake's, he's on 4. He's used up 8 deliveries, and you can hear the crowd beginning to get into the game now. Drake's having a drive down to long off. He fielded down there, goes down in the approved long barrier position. The return is on its way, restricting the batsman to 1, taken by Durbin Thompson. 72 for 5. Remember, the target is 123. We're in over number 16. 2 legal deliveries remain in over number 16. As Thompson on his way to deliver into both Morris, who's steering this one into the backward point region. The fielder sends a quick return as well, but the batsman Drakes made his ground win holder. 73 for 5.
Well, yes, the return was quick, but it was a little wide of the stumps. But Drake's fairly swift between the wickets.
73 for 5 as Thompson, right arm, on his way into delivery off the inside portion of the bat, stuck in the wicket. The wicket keeper Gibbons comes from behind the stumps. So at the end of over number 16, another tight over delivered by Durbin Thompson. 2 overs, none for 8. The veterans in pursuit of 123 for victory, 73 for 5. $50 runs required from 24 legal deliveries. Wayne Holder, as Captain Keith Seal continues to ring the changes. Gregory Gaskin before this 2 overs for 13 runs, now being asked to bowl from the northern end of the ground. Wayne Holder.
Well, yes, he's the man responsible for the switch, but the game is now the Limers' game to lose at this point with a net required rate of 12.50. It's going to take something truly spectacular for the veterans to really haul themselves back into this game like they did in the first innings when they bowled, but I don't think they have shown it so far in the batting.
Gaskin into Bolton Morris. This one is high into the air. Two fielders converge and they will land safely between them. They've gone for one. They're coming back for the second run. They'll have to hurry with the ball on the ground. We'll wait for the decision from the umpire. I'll wait for the decision from the umpire, but the ball is clearly lodged in the umpire's feet on the ground Wayne Holder. So I think that would be a fairly easy decision for the umpire to make.
Well, the umpire would have ruled that the bowler might not have been in control of the ball, but interestingly, it would be interesting to see where Drake's was at the point when the stumps were broken.
Well, the only time you will see that is if you watch it on TV tonight or you watch over the stream. But the reality is that the score with two more goes up to 75 for 5. I can tell you that Morris is on 5 and Drake's, he's on 5 as well at the non-strikers end.
Well, we've got CBC in our midst, so maybe they could help us with the replay on that particular
Short,
play.
very delivery, punch into the offside sweetly, and a welcome boundary by Morris. Morris with that boundary goes up to 9 as he scores 79 for 5. Wayne Holder, you know this is the kind of game that is set up for a person like Morris.
Well, yes, a last gasp effort it is going to take from the veterans, but Anthony Morris, a man of a never say die attitude.
But I think Wayne Holder, some poor bowling by Gaskin, short, very delivery with no protection at all on the offside boundary. As some adjustments made in the field now, short, swung down to long on by Morris. Fielder Estwick is in attendance. And you can also see a change in the approach of the batsman to Wayne Holder. With the approach in the running, there's a bit more aggression in the running.
Well, these two are more prone to run the way as opposite to some who have gone before them.
84-5. Gaskin on his way into ball delivery off the outside portion back to the field. That short third man who does well. It looks like Blackman does well, restricting the batsman to 1. So 1 more to the score takes it up to 81. 81 for 5. We're in the course of the 17th over. Remember, they have 20 overs in which to get up to 123. As Gaskin into ball to Morris. Morris is having a he-for outside the off stump. Doesn't make contact. Ball goes to be taken by wicketkeeper Gibbons. Score remains on 81 for 5.
Gaskin quite adept at bowling the ball into the pitch.
Short.
There he goes again.
Wide call by the umpire, Wayne Holder.
Bowling the ball into the pitch, asking the batsmen to make their own pace.
82 for 5. Into ball to Morris. Morris is having a he-for, doesn't make contact again. So at the end of over number 17, Wayne Holder, with 41 runs required from some 18 deliveries. Your thoughts?
Well, 82 for 5. And as I said, desperate times for the veterans as they see their hold on the title beginning to slip somewhat. I think they're going to have some greasy palms at the moment as they try to hold on to their cherished championship.
With 3 overs remaining, I wonder which of these teams can't take the pressure. With 3 overs remaining, Wayne Holder, with Derwin Thompson to start his 3rd over, and with Gregory Gaskin having 1 over remaining. Drake's outside the yard stump, beaten, taken by the keeper. Who do you think will bowl this final over?
Well, how many overs required now? 3. Who will that person be?
As you look around the field, as Thompson, right arm pass umpire Lewis into ball to Drace. Drace is hitting this one down to long off. The fielder comes around, goes down in the approved long barrier position, restricting the batsman to 1 as the return is already on its way. So a good bit of work by the lineman's fielder down there at long off. It looks like Blackman again. Man in the business, 83 for 5.
Well, I am going to guess Winston Giddings or maybe Canis O'Geist. to bowl that.
Morris off the
extra
outside
over.
portion of the bat. Fielder at third man. They've gone for one. That's all they'll be as Victor Patrick sends a good return to wicketkeeper Gibbons, restricting the batsman to one. The crowd beginning to murmur. 84 for 5. 39 runs required. As Thompson, right arm past the umpire, bowls to Drake's down to long on. Singles won't suffice. We hold a good bit of feed in the game from the man coming around to his left, whipping the return in as well.
Well, I just got a message from Wendell Coppin. You know, Coppin lives in this St. Patrick's area. And he told me that the fat lady just passed by him. She's on her way up to the ground.
85 for 5, and I'm sure she's tuning her voice one way or the next. Off the outside portion of the bat, down to third man. Feel it down there in the 10. That's one more. Wayne holder, backed up by Thompson on his follow through. One more to the score, 86 for 5.
I also want to shout out the marketing manager from the Barbados Cricket Association, Stephen Leslie, who is very much in the presence online, not in person here at the ground. Himself and a Clyde holder. I think you know that name. A long time.
Down the track. Good bit of work by the fielder down there coming around. Blackman again in the business. We are using his feet this time to good effect. Restricting the batsman to one, as we say. A good evening as well to another popular cricket administrator in Jeff Brooms.
Yes, we know of. I was mentioning the celebrities in the house. We earlier saw Roland Butcher. Was here with us, Barbados cricket administrator and former test cricketer for England. And we've been joined by the Broomer. He's got that name for more reasons than one. His foray into this area of calypso.
87 for 5, and we see now the 12th man for the veteran side, Gordon Maxwell, now paying some attention in the cricket. He's finally closed his laptop because the game is getting interesting. With 12 legal deliveries remaining, I can tell you that the required target is 36 runs. 36 runs required from 12 legal deliveries, ladies and gentlemen, as we head into the final stretch.
So I'm asking to send down the
Penultimate over.
The 19th over, which will be his fourth. So no, we don't have a problem though, Kurt, because Derwin Thompson still has an over left.
Yeah.
So he is going to finish most probably from the southern end unless the captain decides otherwise.
Gaskin on his way into bowler delivery, which is swung. Will the fielder come in and take the catch? It looks like Orgies, and it's magnificently dropped by Orgies. He had all the time in the world, Wayne Holder. All the time in the world. Will that catch be costly, Wayne Holder?
Well, I think he had too much time. In fact, he had too long to contemplate on it. But again, I like this approach by Gaskin, bowling the ball into the pitch and asking the batsman to get
high
under
into the air
it.
again. Two fielders coming around, and it will drop easily. The batsman have gone for two. The return is on its way. There's a loud appeal, and it looks like Morris, Wayne Holder, he is gone by the run-out route.
And magnificent work by Dave Estwick, the fielder, effecting that run out, picking it up. The ball dropped between himself and Derwin Thompson. And the ball picked up by...
I think Gordon Maxwell told me that Derwin Thompson bowling the return.
Well, Derwin Thompson bowled the ball into keep the non-strikers in and found Morris short of his ground. So that about... I don't know if it wasn't sealed before. I don't think there's any doubt about it now. The veterans. Kurt, if you look over by the guard hut, well, you can't see her now. She's behind that shrub that you can see there. The fat lady getting her temperature taken in the guard hut.
And tuning her voice as well. As 94-6. 94-6. That is the reality here at the BNOC ground. Remember, this is the finals, the over 50 final in the Amas tournament. We hold veterans versus the Limers.
And the party is going to be in the dressing room of the Limers.
Short delivery off the outside portion of the bat, down in the fine leg region. Should run fairly close to the boundary. Runs into the boundary now. So a much welcome boundary here by the veteran side as they go up to 94. 94 for 6. We're in over number 19. We're in holder over number 19. They require a further 29 runs from 9 legal deliveries. 29 from 9. We're in holder.
I believe the veterans have resigned themselves that the trophy will be heading into the hands of the Limers. Keith Seal will be the one receiving that check
Drakes
for $1,000
swinging away like a rusty gate. Doesn't
in the
make contact.
not-too-distant future.
Ball goes should be taken by the keeper. 94 for 6. As we say good evening to Ronnie. He played this trade for Sparta for quite some time as well.
He's a lawyer. He's always at the bar.
High into the air. Will the catch be taken this time? Gaskin come for himself. The people say if you want something done properly, you should do it yourself. But Gaskin clearly not following the old adage. They even get close to it when you hold it as the score goes up by 2 to 96. 96 for 6.
Well, it was always getting his catch. The man at mid-wicket was always his catch. But Gaskin trying for the spectacular. And he was spectacular too. He dropped the catch spectacularly.
96 for 6. Short delivery. Cut to the fielder. Orgis comes in. Doesn't feel cleanly. Orgis wouldn't get a job at the sanitation. He does nothing cleanly all evening. $98 for 6. We hold as we head into the final over. We can tell you that the required runs, 25 runs required. We hold a 25 from 6. 98 for 6. Where's your money now at this time?
Well, my money is home because I don't have a cent on me. But if I were a betting man, I know whose dressing room I would want to be in.
Game not over until the fat lady sings.
Well,
25 required from 6. DJ, go ahead.
So, Thompson to bowl the final over.
With 25 runs required. Let's have a look at the field way and holder. Feel that short backward point. Feel that third man on the boundary. Down the track and out stump.
Orgis goes wide of the off stump, down the track. Nowhere near the line of that delivery, and easy stumping completed by Gibbons. The Limers now all over the veterans.
I remember at the halfway break, Wayne Holder, I made a statement to you that runs on the board in the final, as paltry as they seem, runs on the board in the final, there's an added amount of pressure with runs on the board.
Well, that has proven to be true. And the veterans having something of a meltdown. I think the shock of losing their opening batsman as early as they did, they never recovered from that position. And
I think the crucial breakthrough would have been when Agard was magnificently caught by Gaskin on the mid-wicket boundary. Because Agard was in and he was well set as Thompson on his way into bowl to Archer. Archer beating outside the off-stump way and holder. So it's almost safe to say that the veterans will be handing over this cup way and holder. 25 runs required from 4 legal deliveries. It would take 3 miracles as opposed to 1 as Thompson on his way into bowl to Archer down the track. Leaves home and yet again another batsman leaving home with no bus fare.
there seems to be a magnet in Derwin Thompson. He's attracting the batsmen towards him. And as they go towards him, the ball goes past them. And Gibbons has been having an excellent evening, enjoying himself, because we've now had 3 batsmen stumped by Gibbons, 1 off Patrick and 2 off Derwin Thompson's bowling.
With tongue in cheek, you remember in a former life, Derwin Thompson was a policeman. So normally when he executed a search warrant, most likely he wanted the batsmen or the people to stay at home.
But if you want to elude him, you're going to leave home.
Leave home.
And a number of these batsmen have left home and got caught on the outside.
98 for 8. Wayne Holder. So yet again, another innings in decline. Remember, this innings was precisely poised when Agard and Brian Johnson were together. But yet again, another innings which has went swiftly into decline.
An implosion. If I were going to use a word from Jeff Brooms, my cursed mate.
As Thompson on his way into ball to the batsman who's down the trap, and then seemingly they've given up the ghost Wayne Holder. So this is going to be a comprehensive win here by the Limers 11 side with 25 runs required off one legal delivery. Down the track, swung into the onside. They've gone for one. In fact,
they're not going to go. They're going to head for the pavilion just shortly. Just the formalities to be completed.
One more delivery remaining. Get a bit ahead of myself. I was looking at it on the score screen here. One legal delivery remaining down the track again. I'm beating outside the all-stump. Ladies and gentlemen, you can put your hands together for the champions, the new champions of the Amas over 50 competition. I can tell you that the Limers, they have won this game by a big margin of 25 runs.
As 24 runs to be exact.
Wayne Holder.
24 runs to be exact. But congratulations to the Limers who have basically upset the batting, the betting, I should say. The veterans would have come into the day's match firm favorites to take this competition, but excellent play, beautifully executed plan by the Limers, superbly led by Captain Keith Seal, and he got good performances from his opening pair of himself and Ken Mears. Then his bowlers backed him up to the hilt, and we can quickly run through the
yes,
bowling
Holder.
figures.
Speaking about the bowlers, Victor Patrick, 4 overs for 13 runs, 2 wickets. Andy Blackman, 4 overs for 25 runs, no wicket. Dave Estwick, I think Estwick though, Wayne Holder. We'll get your thoughts on Estwick. 4 overs, 1 wicket for 13 runs.
Well, that was the one, the screw that turned the final screw into the coffin of the veterans came from that spell by Dave Estwick. There was no coming back after that.
Gregory Gaskin, 4 overs for 33 runs, Wayne Holder.
And Gregory Gaskin, again, proving very effective. He did go for 33, but nonetheless, he was unfortunate, had a couple of catches put down off his bowling, but generally understood exactly what it required from him to keep his team in the ascendancy.
Derwin Thompson, 4 overs, 1 maiden. Very interesting, 1 maiden, 13 runs, 2 wickets.
The only maiden of the match by Derwin Thompson has been one of the better bowlers in the tournament throughout. Some good stuff. Bowls from a rather low trajectory, and the batsmen have a lot of problems getting under his deliveries in trying to hit them away, and no doubt he caused too many problems for the veterans batsmen.
So we went through the bowlers. Let's quickly run through the batting lineup of the veterans 11. Ron Bates, he was stumped. Wicketkeeper Gibbons off the bowling of Victor Patrick for 11. Jeffrey LaFawn, he was caught. Michael Agard at first slip off the bowling of Victor Patrick without scoring. Pedro Agard, he was caught. Gregory Gaskin superbly on the mid-wicket boundary off the bowling of Dave Estwick for 22. Brian Johnson, the captain, he was caught. Wicketkeeper Gibbons off the bowling of Gregory Gaskin for 27. Winston Warren, he went without scoring, without even facing a delivery. Ian Drakes, he was left not out on 20. Anthony Morris, he was run out by Derwin Thompson for 12. Raymond O'Geese, he was stumped. Gibbons off the bowling of Derwin Thompson without scoring. Hayden Archer, he was stumped. Gibbons off the bowling of Derwin Thompson without scoring. Vibert Green, he was left not out on 0. And Vincent Haynes, not out as well. Wayne Holder.
Vincent Haynes, who did not bat, did not bowl. And
playing as a fielder?
Well, with the number 11 batsman. That's a specialist position too. So, a victory to the veterans, to the Limers, in fact. Very well deserved too. We had an excellent day here at the ground, Kirk. Good, lively audience, I think, enjoyed by each and every one. Even the losers, the veterans, would have enjoyed the day. They enjoyed a very good competition throughout. They chose the final to play their worst match of the competition. But I think that takes nothing away from the excellent efforts of the Limers. We would also have to say a special word to our technical team, led by the indefatigable Philip Hackett, our technical man and our producer. And we also had the cameraman. I'm not so sure. The cameraman is Ricardo Bedward, it is. Ricardo Bedward. Must say special thanks to him. Special thanks to our statistician, scorers, Kamisha and Asanchia, and of course DJ Kirk, who helped to create the atmosphere, to all concerned, the amassed event planning team, and of course, Kirk, I'm going to leave the final word with you to say thank you to our very, very generous sponsors.
Yes, we hold before the sponsors, this tournament wouldn't be. So we must say thank you to the sponsors, the Barbados National Oil Company, Collins Limited, Premier World Cargo, Farm Boys, and BJ Auto Care.
And I said I'll give you the final word, but I'll take it. This all put together by Amas Sporting Services, your sporting event planners. Congratulations to Anthony Morris and his team. sharp though. Yeah. Get myself in there. So what we gonna do? We gonna do this on the bottom of come up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, two ain't gonna be just before the second place and first place. So it's gonna be more sketches and come up. Then we'll go back to the finals, MVP, and then the second place. You got how? Kamisha? Yeah. The medals? Yeah. Who have it there? Each trophy. Now go with a medal.
What, the medals first?
The medals thing, the gold was going to be the winner.
Flat.
The silver thing with the second place. And that's all people check. That's a check.
Okay.
And these are going to be each one. These are. Frankie, he come from I get medals at each. The Empire one, the Empire one, the Empire one, the Score one, the Bronze one. Right?
A very good evening to one and all. I think on the behalf of the Amas group, I can say thank you to each and every person here today and everyone who has attended this competition. Very, very successfully executed. And I would hope that you would want to join me in showing your appreciation, not only to the organizers, but to the two teams and the officials who gave us the kind of entertainment we had today. I'd also like to say a special welcome to Mr. Raj Singh, who is the president of the Cricket West Indies Masters Association, responsible for the Masters cricket in United States and the Caribbean. And I'm sure he came down at the invitation of Mr. Anthony Morris, who is also a member of that CWIMA committee. I'd like to congratulate Anthony on his accession to that position. Of course, to our kind sponsors who will be represented in the presentation, which is to follow this introduction. We are going to start with some very important people, some people without whom a cricket match or any cricket tournament cannot go ahead, and we are going to start with the best at the beginning. We're going to start with the umpires for today's final. They will be presented with their prize. Messrs. Irving Carrington and James Jimmy Lewis, please come forward. Prizes presented by Sanchia to Mr. Carrington first of all, and then to Mr. Lewis. There's also a prize to be given to our statistician and scorer, another one of those very important people, again to be presented by Sanchia, and that award goes to none other than Commissioner Wilson for a very, very well done job. Coming out of the Sanchia scoring barn. Now, a very important man. I am looking back at his handiwork. It is on his surface that we had such excellent stroke play and, of course, some fine bowling from all concerned. But for an excellent job done in preparing the ground and particularly his excellent pitches, we pay tribute to Mr. David Harewood. David Eswick will collect on his behalf. Dave Eswick for David Harewood. Now we have some individual prizes for some of the outstanding performers in the competition. Of course, there will always be those who do better than others. And we are going to start with the fielder with the most catches in the competition. That person collecting some 3 catches, that prize will be presented by Mr. Marlon Franklin on behalf of Premium World Cargo, one of our kind sponsors. That prize will go to the captain of the veterans side, Brian Johnson. Well, if you had any doubt as to who would have been the keeper with the most dismissals in the competition, I don't think that after today there would have been, that doubt would have existed. But coming from the victorious Limers side, Jefferson Gibbons, wicket keeper with the most dismissals. Congratulations to Mr. Gibbons and thank you, Mr. Franklin. Next up, the man with the most wickets. Kirk Swan already broke that secret, so I don't have to tell. Victor Patrick from the Limers. A man we call Babaloo.
Brian MVP is 106 one.
All right, so this presentation for the most wickets will be done by Mr. Anthony Turton on behalf of Farm Boys. So well done to Victor Patrick. The batsman with the most runs did not participate in the final, and no one was able to surpass his total of 233 runs, even with the extra game. But Anthony Turton, again, on behalf of Farm Boys, will present to Owen Birch, 233 runs, Birch of the Travelers. Next, I'm going to ask Mr. Dave Walker to come forward to present the prize for the player of the match in today's final. Without any further ado, I've been calling him David all along. He's informed me his name is Dave, not David, Dave Eswick of the Limers. Player of the final presented by Mr. Dave Walker. So Dave to Dave. There's also that big prize for the most valuable player of the competition. I don't know if he can identify himself by these statistics. 106 runs, 8 wickets, and 3 catches. He's been up here before. I'm calling Mr. Brian Johnson of the Veterans to come forward, the most valuable player of the competition. This one presented by Ronnie Gittins. This prize presented by our sponsor, the Barbados National Oil Company, whose facilities we presently use, and thanks very much to them and congratulations to Brian Johnson. And now we come down to the final 2 prizes. Of course, we know that who the winners and the runners-up are, but these formalities have to be completed. So the runner-up to be presented with the trophy by Mr. Singh of the Cricket West Indies Masters Association, newly elected president. Welcome to BNOC. Welcome to Barbados, sir. We're asking you to present the medals and the prize of $500 to the runner-up today. Veterans. Captain Brian Johnson. $500 is the prize for the runner-up. Raymond Auguste. Victor Vibert Green. Ricky Carter. Clark. Pedro Agard. Anthony Morris. Vincent Haynes, Ron Bates, Ian Drakes, Hayden Archer, Jeffrey Lafond, the wicket keeper. And the pacer Maxwell, who was the reserve today. So that completes the runners-up, the veterans, who were defending champions actually, are coming in today's final. So we're going to now present to the new champions of the Amas Masters over 50s T20 cricket competition. That team led by Keith Seal, receiving $1,000 and gold medals to the members. Mr. Seal will receive that check for $1,000 from Mr. Singh, and he'll also receive his gold medal. And I'll ask the other members of the team to come forward. Mikey Agard, Ricky, the driving school man, Aline, Winston Giddens, Dave Estwick, Gilbert Rock. This is the last time I call in this man's name, Derwin Thompson. Andy Blackman, Victor Patrick, Gregory Gaskin, Ken Mears, I am well, Jefferson Gibbons, a man who has been rechristened. I used to know him as Albert August. Now he's called Kanice August. And last but not least, David Bucky Carrington. That, ladies and gentlemen, are the members of the victorious Limers side, who will now receive their trophy, the shield. Their name will be engraved for 2022. Congratulations to Keith Seal and the Limers. But, Mr. Singh, don't get too far. You are still in the thick of things. Mr. Morris has a special presentation to make to you. He's going to send you a commemorative T-shirt for your presence and for you to keep for posterity. So from Anthony Morris of the Amas Group to Raj Singh, the Cricket West Indies Masters Association president. That's very, very well done. All right, so thank you, ladies and gentlemen. On the behalf of Anthony and his organizing committee, we look forward to an even bigger and brighter competition in 2023. But once again, thank you and good night.